If you've ever woken up early to do a double shift at your job, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, folks. Thanks for joining us for live trading. Thank all of you that are coming over from pre-market prep. Thank you for the kind words and the support here today. NVIDIA day is behind us. We have the follow through here today. What a crazy report. Lot to cover, lot to trade. My boy 13 in the back. You know we're going to go ahead and get this done. Let's get started.
Welcome to Benzinga Live Trading.
Let's see if this actually kind of comes back.
Way out of control, got way too high.
All right. Hey, I will take that. I will absolutely take that.
All right, we are back. Welcome, everybody, to another edition of Live Trading. Happy Thursday. I know it's on everybody's mind. Let's talk about NVIDIA and what else that means and what other plays we might see. I'm, of course, going to bring on my main man, 13 here. 13, how you doing this morning?
Oh, just being your boy. I'm doing fine.
I was going to say, I'm going to take that as you're doing well. Because
I'm doing just fine.
Okay, real good. So what did you think about that NVIDIA print?
So one of the things that I was mentioning when we were looking at those numbers come out was how the surprise EPS and revenue percentages have been declining every quarter since they had their peak from about, I think it was the August earnings report that they had. So, it's nice that they had a beat. I mean, if you're in this and you're doing well in it, great. And you're probably doing even better now. But the thing that was concerning to me is that it seems like their growth is slowing down a bit. So maybe there's some signs of weakness there. But, I'm probably also looking too much into it. But at the same time, it's just one of the things that jumped out to me the most.
Yeah, this we talked about this last night. This was absolutely a great mention. This did jump out. I actually mentioned this on pre-market prep this morning, Joe. And one of the things that Dennis was saying is that part of the reason you're actually seeing this decline is because their estimates went up so much. Mm-hmm. I mean, if the estimates had stayed the same, these numbers would have been astronomical. And I thought that was a really good point. But I think the key here, and I'm still on the same page as you here. I think what happened is when you kind of compared it to quarter over quarter, especially initially when the number first came out, you might have thought the exact same thing. You might have thought, oh no, they're not beating as much. That could have accounted for our initial move down. Remember, when NVIDIA first reported this number, our first move was down. We had a gentleman in happy hour live trading this off that dip. And I think that maybe kind of once that got digested here, that dip got bought. NVIDIA went higher, took another leg higher here in the pre-market. We're still above yesterday's after hours highs here in the pre-market. I know what everyone's thinking here. Do we think NVIDIA is going to reverse today? That is probably the big question on the day. Now, I have no position for this. One of the things that I would like to see is if this loses strength here today, there might be a trade to the downside. And that's, we'll have to see here. I mean, this is still just absolutely ripping. Another just a huge breakout here. I wouldn't be surprised on the other hand if 800 is possible. We had some targets on NVIDIA, I believe, going up to 11 or 1200. But I mean, it's this can keep going. This can keep going. So I want to see exactly what's going to take place with today's session. You have any thoughts on it?
Well, if we do start to show some weakness and come back down, at least we have a downside target with this gap fill that we're going to get as a result. Yep. So that's basically what I've got on my screen here is just that we're going to gap fill if we have downside, but to the upside, we've got all these crazy price targets. Remember, Loopy Capital said 1,200. So
I like how you said Loopy Capital. We got Jay Rice Capital here in the chat. Good morning, Jay. 900 by the end of the year here on NVIDIA. 900. So only 150 points away, but that means that's absolutely possible.
Well, maybe, you tell me if this is what you're thinking, Jay, is we get a pullback here and then we start to move towards 900 because, we're not too far away from 900 and we could get there pretty easily if we wanted to, I would think. But I think with 900, that would tell me that you see maybe a pullback or maybe some sideways movement before getting to 900. You tell me, because that doesn't seem like too outlandish of a target.
No, that doesn't sound outlandish at all. And one of the other things we would take a look here for Nvidia is let's see if this actually trades down to that 745 level, because that 745 level is actually going to tell us quite a bit. If we break down beneath that, maybe we do have a reversal on our hands. If we bounce off that, let's keep an eye on those pre-market highs, and we'll see where Nvidia takes us and the market here today.
I did see there was one question from Krutik Shah asking if there's any impact due to employment data. And I believe you're referring to the jobless claims. To that, I'd probably say not likely. The jobless claims, they are a good economic indicator of, part of the labor market. But I think the big report is going to be the BLS jobs numbers that we get on March 8th. That's going to be the impactful one. And before that, we get GDP and PCE next week. So those will be the economic reports I think are worth watching.
Yeah, I'm with you there. And then, of course, with Nvidia, they obviously reported their earnings, but we've also been taking a look at SMCI. We actually took a look at this on the monthly time frame. This is just a straight up vertical wall. SMCI has just been absolutely bonkers. The notable thing here for SMCI, we talked about this on pre-market prep as well. They released an offering last night during Nvidia's conference call.
Ooh,
during Nvidia's conference call, the stock is still higher here today. I do notice that the stock is kind of running into some resistance around this 850 level. We do have the pre-market high on that initial impulse move up to 860, but realistically, we've been staying under this 850 level here in the pre-market. Be interested to see if this actually breaks down or if we bust through that and go for some new highs here on SMCI today.
It would be interesting. I don't know. Just the way the daily chart looks, it doesn't seem like it's going to get to new highs today. I don't think that's possible. I don't either. And I actually think that this might weaken a little bit here today, but we'll see. The other thing that we talked about here, Jay, it's almost like you're reading our mind here. The IWM, this is something that we've looked at quite a bit here. Again, one of the things that we've been discussing is recently as last night is, hey, if Nvidia sells off, maybe we actually spark some rotation into some of these smaller names into the IWM. We'll see if that materializes here. Jay in the chat saying IWM is rolling over here. Clearly the 205 has provided resistance to it. I actually think that there's some resistance in this area between 205 and 212. We'll see if we actually roll over and move lower here today. We've got the 50-day moving average here at 196.41. That's about 2 points lower than where we're at now. And I have the 20-day moving average at 197.21. That's about a point lower. So I think those two levels likely to come into play here today on the IWM. We'll see what that means for some of the smaller stocks. And then additionally, let's actually take a look at the movers, just some of these smaller stocks that are likely moving around today. If the IWM does continue to roll over here today, this should make it easy for us to find relative strength in some of these smaller names. We'll see if that plays out here. Hopefully, we'll be able to find some stocks to trade here today. Now, as far as some of these smaller names, 13, do you have anything that you're taking a look at here? Yeah, I wrote some things down that were moving this morning. I think we did get some more tickers added to that list, but here's what I've got so far. First one I noticed this morning was AGRX. This is Agile Therapeutics.
Yep.
Not really moving on any news that I could see, but they do have a very small float, 2.96 million shares, and they did have a 50-for-1 reverse split last year in April. That's about all the interesting statistics there are on that, but didn't get any news on it. The next one that I have, and I saw it was getting mentioned here in chat, was Vero, VERO.
Mm-hmm.
This is Venus Concept. They actually got the CE mark, that European Commission mark that you get on devices that proves that they're, they work the way they intend. They got that for their Venus Versa Pro, which is some kind of medical device, apparently. They also had a 1 for 15 reverse split back in May. They have a 2.98 million share float. So another one that's easy to get pushed around. After that, EAST, EAST. And,
East Side Drilling.
Yep. This one, I didn't see any news, but they also did a 1 for 20 reverse split back in May. And they have a 1.49 million share float. So another easy to push around stock. Then I have a few more here. I'll just go through them real quick. LRHC.
That
This
is at
one's,
the top of the movers list here. This did actually have some news here today. La Rosa acquires 7th real estate brokerage franchise with a revenue of 1.4 million and positive cash flow in 2023. Financial terms of the transaction not disclosed here. That's causing the stock to pop about 260% here in the pre-market. You know, the one thing I've noticed here on LRHC 13 is that this actually looks like it might have some strength to carry through the rest of the day. We'll see what happens when we back test this VWAP. I expect that $5 level to get tested even here in the pre-market before we open up. But this giving us a pretty good formation here. Let's see if we can pop above 6. I have the pre-market high print at about 632. So those are a couple of levels to watch here. What are you thinking on LRHC?
well, this one does have a 6.47 million share float. So it's also a low float stock, just a little bit more shares than some of the other ones I just mentioned. This one, it does have a pretty good formation right now. I think when I was looking at this and how far up it could go, I think we've already pierced blue sky territory earlier this morning. So this could be whatever it wants to be. But I wanted to give a shout out to DS real quick for bringing us the news on AGRX. I said that I didn't see any news. He found it. It was exercise of warrants for 4.8 million gross proceeds. So there was that. Thank you for getting that for us. And then the only other two that I have here are Root and EZFL. Root, we've talked a lot about. This one, I think, was the insurance company. They just had their earnings report and they got an upgrade. But they also have a bit of a short squeeze happening here too, because even though it's at 10% of the float that's shorted, they have almost 14 days to cover. So that is putting some pressure on them. And they have 9.35 million shares float traded.
Yeah, and on average, this stock only does about 100. I've got the 100-day average here at 111 shares already this morning. We've traded 129,000 shares. 111,000 shares. We've already traded 130,000 shares here en route. So we'll see where this ends up going here today. I did notice here, as you were talking, 13, big knife down here actually took us through the VWAP. We're a little bit beneath it now, but we're not really breaking down any further. So we'll see if we get any type of solidification here or maybe a support level to trade Root. The other one that you mentioned there was EZFL, right? That looks like that continues to break down here from the VWAP. We had a nice big impulse move, took us up close to 450, retraced 75% of that really, really quickly, busted through the VWAP, was not able to hold that. Sure looks like this is going to take the next leg lower here on EZFL. This might be a smoke tuna special where we kind of figure out where this thing bottoms and then maybe have a regression back to the VWAP in terms of a potential trade here.
Maybe it does go all the way back down to where it initially popped from. That's certainly possible. This one is moving on earnings. And they also had a 1-for-8 reverse split back in April, 3 million shares float.
Yeah. BMR, this has been a recent runner for us here. This actually popped this morning. This is all the way back down to where it was yesterday in the after-hour session. We'll see if Beamer can actually firm up here. We have $1 range back to the VWAP. So even a trade here, even if we get $1, pull a 1-point move here, that'd actually be pretty nice. Chat mentioned an ICU quite a bit here. Looks like this is C-Star Medical Holdings. We've traded ICU off the relative volume scanner a number of times in the past. Here we go again with ICU. Did you see any news on this one? Actually, and sorry, as I was asking you that, taking a look at here, ICU, pretty decent breakout. Looks like we're going to try and close this gap. I've got this gap filling here at about 190, current price 176. I mean, I think we probably trade up and test that, maybe even that $2 level.
Yeah, ICU too. Let me take a look at the news though, because it's, I don't know what this is moving on.
ICU Newell's distribution partner. Thank you very much, DS. Again, nice assist there with the news. C-Star Medical receives FDA humanitarian device exemption for pediatric selective. I'm not even going to try to pronounce the rest of those because we don't need to do that. But looking like we're getting an FDA device exemption.
Cytopheretic device. And that last word.
There we go. See,
Quail
that's the
immune.
thing. You get one of those first words in there, you're feeling all good about yourself, then they drop 3 or 4 more on you, and you're like, yeah, forget it.
Give me a second, and I'll pronounce that. Yeah,
no,
it looks like quail immune is what I think that word is pronounced.
Quailimune. There we go. That sounds good to me. We're gonna go with it. Quailimune, it is. So ICU popping here. Definitely have some strength this morning. Stock up just under 18%. Again, $180, $2. Probably going to be your levels here on ICU. We'll see if this continues to have the strength that it had here in the pre-market. I am encouraged that it's not breaking down, but wouldn't be surprised if the first move was a down move here to the VWAP.
Yeah, that's when they got a product that gets approval from the FDA, that tends to be pretty good. So I think that the high they made here, 184, that probably could get taken out pretty handily. We'll have to wait and see.
LNTH, Jay giving us LNTH, still a 9.3 price to earnings ratio here despite today's gap. So Jay, it looks like you like Lantheus here. Still cheap. Maybe this is going to be some. Are you already in this? Is this a new trade for you? Are you looking to play a curl here? Maybe a $70, $80 price target? Let me know what you have here on LNTH. This is actually a stock that I haven't traded. I know a couple of people have mentioned this. I feel like we've talked about this in happy hour several times, but I've never actually traded this name myself here. But as Jay mentioned in here, low price to earnings here, not terribly expensive. And Jay, you own it, so you're having a nice day through earnings here. Stock up just under 11% here today. Good stuff on LNTH.
This isn't one of the these other companies that we're talking about where they just have low float and they're just getting started or they're trying to come up with some kind of drug or device. This is a real company. They have revenue. They have income. They're doing good. SOUN, this is one that we've been trading here recently. This popped in the after hours yesterday, presumably with NVIDIA. We're a little bit higher here today, but it looks like we're kind of testing this pre-market support. See if this thing can hold for, if this comes back in towards that 370 level that we saw yesterday for a lot of the day. I know SOUN's been pretty popular in here. We'll see if we have another trade here today. All right. What else do you folks have? I know we're probably looking at a lot of the stocks that are moving on the back of that NVIDIA report. I know ARM, you guys have been mentioning a number of times. Oh, it just changed on me there. ARM drop a little bit here. ARM, AMD, Google. These are all some of the names that we've talked about recently. ARM was higher here. It's actually still higher from yesterday's close, but we are off the pre-market highs here considerably, like about 6 points down here on ARM. We'll see if these kind of firm up here. I don't know. I don't know what to make of this move in tech. I definitely want to see what the opening print looks like. Yeah, when I'm looking at the SPY and I see how just this past month, how much we've gapped up or gapped down, one day after the other. This market just seems like we're just really getting too irrational. I don't know how much higher this market goes, but I would not want to touch NVIDIA or any of these other tech stocks up here for a long hold. Yeah,
we'll see. We will see. Like I said, hard to make sense of that. Jonathan Cooper mentioning VYTX. That was one here from yesterday. This, of course, moving on the GLP-1 VYT. Am I getting this wrong here? VYTX. No, I don't think that's it. Oh, can't seem to find that ticker. Jonathan.
VTYX.
Thank you. Geez. VTYX. There we go. Ventix Biosciences. Jonathan. Here we go. So we've had a huge pop yesterday. We actually didn't break down here. This curling up and moving here a little bit in the pre-market. Really want to see if the volume flows into this name like we did yesterday. That gave us that huge move here. We get any type of volume pop, we might have a trade right out of the gate here on VYTX.
Yeah, I feel like that today I'm going to want to just wait and see what happens out of the gate.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that 15-minute rule where you kind of wait, let things shake out, let things give you a direction. I think that's probably the way to go here today, 13. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm not going to try to be a hero early on. I should mention here, of course, the stream is sponsored by Trade the Pool. Trade the Pool, the best prop firm out there. You need help getting over that 25K day trading threshold. Give Trade the Pool a shot or get up to 260K buying power. Gentlemen are quite nice and help us out here, so give them a shot. We are going to be using Trade the Pool's brokerage execution system when we actually trade here today. Okay. Yeah, the 15-minute wait from the Warlock is a good call. Indeed, Kenny knows what he's doing. Like 13 was saying here, not really sure what to make of this. Let's see if the market will give us any more information prior to us having to make a decision there. One of the things I'm seeing here right before we open, SMCI continuing to trade up here into the open. Let's take a look at NVIDIA as well. NVIDIA doing the same thing, although it's a little bit weaker. It came off that 776 pre-market high. We'll see if NVIDIA actually retraces any of this move. I'm really curious more than anything else to see how this stock's going to trade here today. No position for me in NVIDIA. All right, Root, Market Sniper saying Root looking interesting. We talked a little bit about Root on pre-market prep here today. This is actually a stock I don't trade a whole lot. Trading action here in the pre-market's been good. It's been strong. Volume looks pretty good. Really back tested that VWAP and reclaimed it. So stock here up 43% in the pre-market. Of course, I don't advise anybody chasing a 45% move, but if we're going to trade this here today, just be nimble, have your levels ready, have your plan ready in case this moves in either direction. Definitely one of the movers here today. As EKS said, 2 more mins. Make your bets. Make your bets. My bet is actually going to be to wait here. So I'm going to flip over to my main workspace here. Let's see what else we have on the scanner. OCUL, Ocular Therapeutics, looking like that's holding this $9 level here. I know Joel talked about Wayfair here this morning. I don't like this company. Wayfair is moving up here on earnings. The conference call is finally over. That's moving up here. We just saw Lunar disappear off the scanner. I know that was a previous runner from the past couple of days. Yesterday, real big breakdown. Today, it looks like we're retesting some of those lows. Lunar, I think, has the chance of going lower here. If we bounce, maybe there's a long side trade in there, but I wouldn't overstay your welcome on that one.
Buy the dips, huh?
DS giving you his game plan here. Buy the dips here today. We'll see. If you like NVIDIA, play NVIDIA. You're welcome. Jared, not a bad piece of strategy. And one of the things that I learned from one of my mentors early on is trade what you know. So if you know NVIDIA, if you use NVIDIA products, that might give you a little bit of advantage. You might feel better about trading that. I actually think that's really good advice. I try to do the same thing. So, okay, Lunar, 2 p.m. lunar landing, says Seekin. Is that something that's going on here today in Lunar? I think he means a lunar landing for the stock price. I think that's what he means. Not quite sure, but we'll see. All right, we are getting ready to open here. Let's see, how close are we to the open? 10 seconds.
10 seconds.
Let's go ahead and see what the market brings here for us today.
Yep. Looks like Pan
We
W
are open.
Looks like Pan W is having a good morning.
Bring that up here. When I'm ready to trade, I will flip over to the brokerage. Before that, I am going to stay in pro here. Oh, maybe not.
Yeah, this one actually
there we go. Yeah,
this one actually went right down to that 200-day SMA at 260. Got to 260 and 9 cents. So that was
here. Let
nice
me bring this up on my bigger daily chart because we actually
Sure.
talked about this last night. We talked about a potential trade here. You're absolutely right, 13. To me, this looks pretty interesting, right? Traded all the way down to that 200-day, kind of bounced off of that. The one thing that I'd like to know here for a new trade today, do we want to retest that 200-day? Or do we just bounce? Did we already test it enough? We're just going to bounce from here. I want to see if there's a retest coming here on Pan W.
If it does retest, it probably isn't going to. It might not hold. I mean,
That's that exactly, and that's one of the things that I want to see here. We talked about this 240 to 250 being a fairly decent support area for Pan W. Wouldn't if it overshoots this 200-day, I would look for it to reverse there. We'll see.
All right. How's the market looking out of the open here? Are we going up or down?
Let me flip back over to my main workspace here. Things have kind of smoothed out here. BuzzFeed, this penny stock, trade that one at your own risk. LRCH, that one from our list here, looks like that first move here is down. We'll see if it holds that 5 level. I've got the VWAP there at 499 on LRHC. Jonathan mentioning CPOP. That was one from yesterday. That really ran yesterday.
Oh, it's run before. This
Yeah.
this one's run all week, I think.
Two days in a row here. CPOP doing a decent job holding in here. We'll see if this actually turns around and makes a move. Nothing yet here on CPOP.
Yeah, so far
around here, Apple at the highs right out of the gate, along with Netflix trading up here. Amazon was higher in the pre-market. Their first move here is down.
Root did have a nice break out of the open to 1332. Came back in.
And still below the VWAP here.
LRHC looks interesting. Like this one could take out
over
pre-market, but let's just see what it does. It's beneath VWAP right now. It's trying to get above it, but it was rejected here just a second ago.
Boy, I am having all types of issues typing the tickers in wrong. LRHC, here we go. Yeah. So let me actually zoom in here and see. Again, for me, holding, well, they actually lost 5 here. Now we're going to lose this pre-market low, it looks like. We'll see. I've got that at 460? That pre-market low print here?
I have
from this recent candle. I'm sorry. I said that wrong. From this recent candle here. Now the other pre-market low that I'm looking at here is down by about 428.
Yeah, I think if we start going under 4, this thing's going to have a it'll be a while before this reverses and comes back up. But 4 is the support level that I have in this one.
Yeah, and watch a reclaim of 5 here. Doesn't seem like it has the strength yet, but we've seen how quickly that can change. Number of people mentioning Vero in the chat here is ticker VERO. See what's going on here. Vero, this about coming off that what is that? 165? What do we got in here? 168. So this trying to close that gap to VWAP. We'll see what happens here at VWAP. If you take a look at the pre-market, mind some of these upper shadows here on Vero when it really got up past that 250 area, really slowed down. Looks like we're about to retake 2 here. Ticker VERO. There's 2 and through. A little bit of size here at 205.
Yeah, 230 seems like it's going to be the level to take out. And, a lot of these that we were watching yesterday, they had some really good trade setups throughout the day. So I might even wait for some of these to just kind of present a better trade.
Sometimes that's the hardest part, 13. Sometimes the hardest part is just waiting through kind of the boring area till you actually get your trade. Here we go on a VWAP move on Vero. Took that 2 level. They put some more size in here at 201. They're actually building onto that size. We'll see if that gets taken here. They hit it, and they took it. So here we go. Higher now on Vero. Congrats to all of you that grabbed this one here this morning.
LRHC down to
big pop here on Vero. Great
4.
job, guys. 220 the next spot here. A little bit of size there, but it could easily chew it. 13, I'm sorry for running you over here, but that pop came right at the wrong time.
Hey, no worries. Don't worry. Let me stop your excitement. The LRHC $4 level was just breached, but it's starting to get some buyers again. So let's see if they can pull it back up. But it's not looking too good at the moment.
Jane Smith, register ring early on here on Vero. Nice trade out of the gate there. Love to see it. Love to get green on the screen early. I tell you what, it makes the day so much easier when that first trade is a green one.
It is.
Yeah, LRHC. I think this one might go lower here. I'm going to flip around to some of the other stocks we were taking a look at. Looks like SMCI still can't really figure out what direction it wants to go. We've gone in both directions so far here. Long wicks on this 3-minute candle. We'll see if it actually takes the top off here on SMCI.
Very slow open.
Yeah, it was a slow open. Mark was saying that here. Here we go. Mark, wow. Slow open. Sure seems like it. Talk being mentioned here by Jonathan Cooper. Talkspace here. This is a decent move right out of the open. Didn't really have this one on the radar, but we'll see how much higher we go here on Talk.
Oh, hey, Crow. Good job.
Nice job, right. Crow. You get another register ring for that one. Sorry, still kind of watching some things. Let me check on NVIDIA. NVIDIA above its VWAP. We'll see if this tries to move higher. SOUN maybe found that bottom. See, it's trying to hold 4 here. I have a low print of the intraday session at 395 with a little bit of size right around that on SOUN. What are you seeing there, 13?
ICU is just getting destroyed, and it might get a bounce here at about 145, possibly. You see that one?
Yeah, I see you still moving here, Mark. Definitely not halted, at least not yet.
Yeah, it's got a huge wall now at 160. And
this trying to turn around here. Buyers are trying to do it. Not successful yet, but they're trying. They're making an effort.
Yeah.
Scotty mentioning that Broadcom ticker AVGO breaking its all-time highs here. I wouldn't be surprised. Strength off that NVIDIA report here for Broadcom got 1284 on this. I remember this thing feels like this thing was under $1,000 not even long ago.
Yeah, that's like one of the last big companies in the queues to report too.
OM being mentioned here by Becca. This is Outset Medical. Not familiar with this one. Nice power candle here out of the open, though. Bonjour, smoked tuna. Welcome. Yeah, Mark.
Bien Avenue.
Not sure what's going on there. We'll investigate as soon as I get off the live broadcast here. Rolling through some of the stuff. My scanner's working fine, by the way. I wonder what's hung up for you. My scanner updating and has been all morning there. And the news feed not displaying has been the problem that I have. Didn't have stuff ready. CPOP here really kind of holding at the lows. That's not really moving at all. God, you guys are right. This is kind of a slower open, slower morning here.
Doesn't make you feel very good about it, does it?
What's that?
Doesn't make you feel very good about it.
No. I would have expected, after the NVIDIA report, what everyone was waiting for, maybe we'd see some more action. Don't see a whole lot here, especially for new trades. Look at INOD. That's one we've been looking at every day for possible re-entry. Uh-oh. Is that just a problem with INOD, or is this data feed issue? Man, I've got data feed issues all over the place. This trade the pool here, not loading. I also saw a report that there were a number of people that couldn't use their cell phone this morning, couldn't make calls, had no signal. That was an East Coast thing. Did you see that?
I saw the news that AT&T and some other cellular servicers were not working for their customers. Looks like LRHC might be starting to recover here. If it can get through 420, it might start a bit of a move up to the 5 area.
Okay, sorry, just grabbing some stuff here real quick. Apologize.
I see you. That was a good, man. I was looking for it to get down to the 200 EMA so I could pick some up. It didn't get there, but it looked like there was a bit of a bounce coming in that. I would have been out of this by now, but it's that lower shadow there. That would have been a nice capture.
IOVA, what a move yesterday we had on IOVA. That was amazing on the 1260, I think. Yeah. It was down in here, right? Yep, that 1260 break really sent this thing all day for the rest of the day here. And would have been a really easy trade to just kind of hold on to. This morning, we got a little bit of a dip. We dipped down to the consolidation area from yesterday afternoon, and we've bounced there on IOVA. Let's see if we can reclaim 17 and move a little higher here on IOVA. You were saying ICU. Let me bring that up here. Yeah. ICU. Yep. And it's trying to bounce here, though. We'll see if this curls and bounces.
It's almost back up to VWAP again. I think that'll be the question of whether it can get through it or not. Root back up to 12. Some of these are just still headed straight down.
CPOP popping again. This actually took the VWAP and moving higher here on CPOP. Looks like we've got about a 10 cent, 15 cent spread in there. Not terrible. Up. It looks like it's spreading out a little bit more.
I don't know. Do you
RX ripping here? Sorry, 13. Didn't mean to run you over.
Sorry. Do you feel like what was my question? It was like, do you feel the risk is back on yet?
No.
It doesn't feel that way.
No, I don't. That's a great way of putting it too. No, I don't feel like that. Maybe in some of the names, like Jay here mentioning the SMCI ripping, this did push up out of the open, but it's off the highs. We take a look at NVIDIA. This curling. This has moved up from the open, but no, it doesn't necessarily feel like that. Maybe it's just the stocks that I'm looking at here.
I don't know. This market feels tired and heavy already.
Yeah. Well, like I said at the beginning here, I wanted to see if we reverse. Now, I'm not ready to make that call yet here. SPY still holding 503.55, but maybe we do. You know what? What are some of the inverse ETFs at? That might be something to try here. SOXS, but that might be too far gone.
I feel that, DS. I feel that. And oh, by the way, Ryan, your IPWR, over 12.
Yeah, this one really happy about this. This has been a big move here pretty quick. I do think, what we had a discussion about this last night. I do think there is some type of cash raise. They're going to need cash at some point. Now, how they're going to do that, maybe through an offering, if they move the stock up here. I do have a longer term approach on this. I want a big gain out of this one. This is not one of these smaller scalp plays that we do here on a daily basis. But it's been a really good 2 days. Maybe we get another buyer coming in here today. That would take this thing a bit higher here. So looking decent so far on that one.
Yeah, I mean, they do. iPower does seem to have a plan to get some orders going, but I think that's something that they were talking about seeing in the second half of the year. I don't know if they need to raise cash before then, but if they can get some orders, some contracts going, get some cash in the bank, that'd be even better.
Or like a partner or something, someone else. I mean, if the technology works, there's also a possibility the company gets acquired. No, I'm just pure speculation. That's not even a rumor. That's just speculation. WIS calling IFBD. This a nice move from 2 here right out of the open, currently at about 246. See if that gets rolling here. What else you folks seeing out there? CRDO or CDRO, I beg your pardon. Market Sniper looking at CDRO here. This is trading up very spread on CDRO. Smoke Tuna mentioning CPOP. I'll tell you what, this thing looks like this might be getting going here. Used that VWAP as resistance and then finally broke through it. SMCI, as Jay just mentioned, was ripping. This actually trying to take the next leg higher here, SMCI. That should be pretty good for the IWM. Shouldn't it? IWM actually not looking terrible here. This is what I'd like to see.
Is Pen W setting up for a sell? I mean, I think it was a sell out of the open.
Mark, take care of yourself. Good luck with that meeting. Hopefully your children didn't behave like me in school and you'll actually be getting a good report from the parent-teacher conference. Good luck. What was that? NVIDIA you were taking a look at? I'm sorry.
No, Pan W.
Pan W.
Yeah, Adrian was asking, is it setting up for a sell? And I think that, well, for me, the trade was, you get in at the at 260 where the oh wow, did this actually drop that much already out of the gate?
Which Pan W?
Yeah,
Pan W's first move up. First move was up here, immediately retraced that and going lower here. We're actually below the pre-market lows here today.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So like I was saying, I think the sell was right out of the gate because getting in at 260 off the 200 EMA, or sorry, the SMA, that was the plan. And then you would have already been up, what, $15 this morning per share. I think that was the trade there. CPOP popping. This thing is probably going to go to 9. I don't know how soon.
Jay here saying, not sure why you think the market is tired. With that said, you should use gap ups to trim. I'm going to take that second part first because that's the easy part. Anytime that you have a gap like this, especially if it's on a big move like that NVIDIA report, I completely agree with Jay here. Trim your position, pay yourself on the way up. In fact, if you take a look at my TGTX position here in Trade the Pool, I'm down on these remaining 200 shares, about $150. I'm paying this no mind. And part of the reason for that is because I used some of those pop-ups on the way up to trim my position and book some of those gains. So now that we've come back in a little bit, I'm already working on some gains. It's not really a big deal there. As far as the first part here about why we're not thinking the market is tired, or not sure why you think the market is tired, like I had mentioned there, I think it's just because some of the stocks that we're looking at, we're not totally focused on Nvidia or some of the bigger stocks. I mean, we are for the earnings report. But in terms of looking for some new trading activity here today, I don't really see a whole lot. Would be interested in anyone's trade setup here today, other than the ones we've discussed. I'd love to hear it. I don't see anything else here. Your point's well made about trimming into strength, however.
Yeah, if I got gains, I'll be taking some off the table.
Yeah, definitely.
For now, it's just, I want to see some pullback or correcting in the broader market. That's what I'd prefer to see, and then I'd feel more comfortable about it going up further. But it just feels so extended, and it's just it's not that many stocks that are causing this market to be extended. So, I mean, this is just a massive gap up. We just took out almost the entire month in 2 days. Yesterday and today.
Ooh. Sorry, looks like I dropped a little bit there. You can hear me, right? 13?
What? Yes.
For a sec there, I was like, oh no. All right, looks like my chart's finally loaded here. NVDS. So we're talking about potentially playing some of these down. I don't know if you want to jump in front of a moving train here on Nvidia. By the way, pre-market high 775.59. Current price was just at 774. So it looks like we might try to take that out. If you're going to play Nvidia short, maybe NVDS might be the way to expose yourself through that. Pro mentioning that Vero is done. Vero, that does look like that's going to break down here. QBTS, we actually got asked about QBTS in happy hour here. I think the quantum computing thesis is probably far away. But as for a trader here, this has been a great one. We've actually seen this move considerably off the relative volume scanner. Let's see if it can reclaim VWAP here, QBTS. The lunar shuttle touchdown on the moon is at 5:30 today. Your opinion, my friend, my friends on the stock. I don't have one here. I don't necessarily have an opinion on this. This has not been something that I follow in here. I thought you guys were talking about the price of lunar making a moon landing.
I mean, careful. It could be sell the news. Yeah, it touched down. Sell the stock.
MNPR going?
Monopar. Oh, this one just likes to open and close at the same area and then trade, wildly around that.
Sure does. Sure looks like there's some resistance here at this 106 too. I probably will pass on this MNPR.
CPOP coming back in.
Amazon looking like that kind of turned around. Amazon was higher here in the pre-market. Looks like it sold off a little bit right out of the open, but caught. Buyer stepped right in here. Amazon looking like this one's going to go higher here today.
Don't really have very many big runners. We only have one over 100% today.
Yeah, well, maybe that's market coming back to reality a little bit, huh?
Or something worse.
I didn't want to go straight there. Looking at some more names here from the scanner. Nothing really. LRHC, maybe this is bouncing. And we finally got a curl here. MACD's not confirming this yet, but maybe this is the start of it. ICU, big pull. We're lower than we were yesterday, lower than all the pre-market. ICU, this not looking good here. Not looking good here.
Back to last week's numbers.
And here is, NVIDIA. We actually did set a new high here. So we took out that pre-market high here on NVIDIA. This roll, and this is going to be great for the SPY, Qs, SMCI, everything here at highs.
Let's see. Is MDAI also moving today? No. Did this morning, but...
Yeah, I wonder how many of those smaller AI names are going to be going. IDAI, that's lower here. AI, that was one of the favorites, although it's kind of junky. AI actually still higher here, bouncing. Voodoo, good to see you this morning, Voodoo. Voodoo saying cleared Pan W short for 1 point on a quick scalp. Tough play, a lot of chop in the spread here. Pan W, this actually looks like this might be taking the next move lower here. We were talking about potential bounce spots here on Pan W. We'll see if we get back down to that 260, 5 points away from that 200-day moving average on Pan W.
Yeah, I don't know. LRHC coming up to the $4 level. That was previously support. Now it's resistance. So if it can't get through there, then this, I'd probably say the next stop is under 3 maybe.
See if this bounce actually lasts or if we just sell into this.
Vero might be getting support here at the 165 level.
Hey, look, Ideal Power continuing higher here. Low volume though. And I wouldn't take this one. Jared saying took gains on NVDL. So you're playing the NVIDIA long ETF here. You're going to get a register ring for that one. You can get a register ring for that one. I mean, I got to think at some point there's going to be a decent shorting opportunity here. But man, oh man, it hasn't worked yet.
That's all I have to say.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of setups here. And again, I'm talking about new trades. I'm doing fine in the stuff that I'm holding. I'm actually up nicely in a lot of the stuff that I'm holding here today. So that's cool. But as far as new trade setups here, not seeing a whole lot, at least on my end.
Root looks like it's trying to go higher. It's having some trouble getting past 1240.
It's really just kind of flagging here.
A little bit, yeah. A little bit. All right. Yeah, some of these, these are just moving so slowly.
Yeah.
You can't get any of these quick trades to work out. Okay, it looks like LRHC is trying to make another go at 4. If they can break through there, we might get a shot at VWAP, which is up at about 430, 425.
Looking around here. Let me actually check the Twitter streets. Let's see what Twitter's into today. This could be dangerous, but let's see what Twitter's into here today. The first stock I see people on Twitter talking about is ICU. Oh man. And maybe that's bouncing here. I don't know though. iCAD, another AI name. How's that do? Oh, this thing's just thin, not really moving at all.
Okay, looks like LRHC might be getting going here. Took out 4.
LRHC. I tell you what, those curl and those moves, they've been sold, even except for that one green candle here on the 3-minute chart. Every other time it's popped, it's been sold. Getting a Roma mention here in the chat. Oh, look at Roma. Roma Green Finance. This Crow, you murdered this one when this was new. Roma here spiking just a little bit. And back towards the highs. Man, I tell you what, my stock guys list on Twitter here, which is normally popping with a lot of different stuff, is slowed down.
Yeah. That should be a good parameter for you too. If you can't find something, is there really anything worth trading? Man, and now LRHC, after trying to break 4, getting smacked right back down again. Vero, still going lower.
FinTwit did not give me any new ideas here.
Looks like Root is there. Goes Root.
All right, so we popped out of that compression there, going higher here, looking for wow, big nice move here. I should have just bought that one.
Been squeezing. Yeah.
LRHC, let's take a look at that again.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to go lower.
Yeah, I mean, if it makes some of these higher lows, if that continues on the way up to the VWAP, maybe that'll give it some strength. But I'm with you here. I don't feel great about this one.
Yeah, I think Root's the one for the moment. I think it's if it can take out 1332. I mean, I don't even have any levels set up for this yet, so I'm not sure how high it would go, but I'm sure there's plenty of levels if I look to the left. This thing's been hammered.
Looking at my scanner here, just seeing if anything pops off of it. Nope. Oh, yeah, Jay, you're right. Intel, just awful performance given some of the other performance we're seeing here today. So let me bring this up on another chart here. I haven't taken a look at the longer term Intel chart in a little bit.
New highs in Root. CPOP is trying to get going again.
Here we go on CPOP. Maybe we get a push away from that VWAP here. All right, let's take a look at this Intel chart here. All right, so real quickly, since we're talking about Intel, let me bring this up here real fast. I'd like to get the opinion of the group here. All right, so Intel. So Jay, you were just saying it's awful. What would it take for you to look at this as a potential long? Let's play that thought experiment here. You can see we're trading down here. We're likely to test the 100-day moving average. I have that value here at 42.29. Got the 200-day 5 points beneath that here, 37.92. So looking at Intel, I mean, this area right in here, this 41 to 42 area actually looks like some pretty decent support. Obviously, we have that 100-day right above it. What would it take for you to like Intel? Jay and Joe, correct me. Are you all out of this one? You traded this one too, on kind of a longer term swing, didn't you?
No, I haven't been in Intel for a very long time.
Okay, sorry, I must be mixing that up with another one.
Yeah, let me think about which one that would have been, but yeah, I haven't been inside Intel for a while.
Okay. Anyway, Jay, would love to hear what you think here on Intel in terms of a potential level, or if you're just not interested at all.
Root went to 14.
Here we go. Nothing right now on Intel. Every other name is ripping. Why bother? Good point. I'm just thinking, looking for the laggards here. Maybe something turns around. Maybe get more of a trade here. But you're right. If everything else is ripping and this isn't, there are better trades to take there. Points well made.
Yeah, Root got to 14, came way back in. Don't think it's done, but don't want to say it isn't either.
Nurse Works. Good morning, Ryan and 13. Good morning. Welcome. Hello. Can you look at Snap earnings, 425 long? So you're talking about the earnings that are due in April. Am I getting that right here? So first of all, that 425 date is unconfirmed, as Snap just reported in early February 6th. That's just an estimation. That date is likely to change. I'll be honest, I don't have a good opinion here of Snap. I'd be willing to listen to someone's bull case if you have it. This thing just got crushed on earnings. I don't understand Snapchat. I haven't from the beginning. I don't even really know why people use this, to be quite honest with you. This is not a stock that I would trade for earnings. Now, the one thing that I will say, if you're going to take a look at a trade here, if we're going to look at a chart, if for whatever reason we get some good news out of this, or if this shows some strength, maybe you have a potential gap fill here on a 1230 break. That gap fills at 16. So 4.5 point move in there if that ends up taking place. I just don't see what the catalyst is here in Snap. And short of that catalyst, I'm not terribly interested.
Yeah, and
I'm sorry about that.
In my opinion, if we're going to be doing any kind of investing or whatever with this stock, I think I would be more interested in it if it was under $9.
Yeah.
It seems like every time that this has an earnings, or because I see a lot of gaps, a lot of gap downs in this from previous ERs, and then they kind of bottom and then it recovers. So I would wait for some bottoming to happen in this first. And to me, it looks like somewhere under $10 or $9, maybe closer to $8 would be better. But for me, this isn't going to be a touch either. I think this needs to come down first.
And to your point about it coming down, if we see some re-ratings here and the stock stops selling off, that might be a tradable bottom there. Alyssa, appreciate the context here. Lots of Gen Z use Snap as the primary messaging app, meaning that they're not even going into Messages or iMessage or whatever your primary app is. Instead, they're using Snapchat. My question here, with the calculus that I can't really figure out is, how is that going to actually impact the stock? Or is it even going to impact the stock? Alyssa going on to say, Snap also paying celebs a ton to post there, so you have to pay people to post. I wonder how much revenue they actually generate off of paying those celebrities.
No, they're paying celebrities to post.
That's what I'm saying. I assume they're trying to hope to earn a return in some way on that, and I wonder if they're just not getting it.
It just sounds like a really great avenue to lose money.
Yes, it does.
I don't get it.
Hey.
Hello.
What's up, Alyssa?
So, to go off on the celebrity thing, do you know, like, the really popular, like, YouTubers who did a lot of vlogs, like David Dobrik, for example, Snapchat is paying them, like, $1 million a month, something like that, a lot, to post primarily there instead of like YouTube or wherever they used to post, and that's driving their giant audience to Snapchat. And that's with like a ton of celebrities and like influencers.
Okay. I'm just not sure how this translates to the stock. That might be something, with that backdrop, that's helpful information, Alyssa, because that might be something to kind of go through the last earnings report and see if they mention or give any figures on that.
How many celebrities are they paying $1 million a month?
No, probably a lot. I mean, they you get to see their little events that they get to go to like every month.
Yeah, I don't do any of that stuff.
Okay, well, I guess that makes sense why they're losing like $250
That's kind of what I'm thinking.
a month or a quarter.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how that business plan is supposed to work. It's not a touch.
Yeah, me either. That's what I'm saying. I don't get it. I don't get it. All right, let me go back to the trading platform here. So there we go. Trading platform here. See, thank you, Alyssa, by the way.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate the context there. That might be something to look into. I don't have a favorable opinion of Snap. Good question here from Becca, though. Alyssa, does Snap have a store like TikTok?
That is no. I don't think they have Snap Premium though, and that gives you I don't even know.
Yeah, I was like, what does Snap Premium give you?
I don't even know like it just gives you like little cute things. I don't see any like real use for it.
Yeah, okay. Appreciate it.
To spice up your messaging experience.
Yes. Yes.
Oh man. All right.
It's like this. Remember when we used to pay money for ringtones?
I do remember. Oh man, I am actually embarrassed that I paid real money that I earned from a job for a ringtone. Now, I mean, looking back on that now, that was stupid.
Yeah, well, here's this generation's version of that.
Yeah, this is Snapchat is this generation's ringtones. That's it.
I love this comment. What does Snap and T-Doc have in common? They missed 8 quarters in a row. Don't buy stocks in downtrends. This is actually really good advice here. And Rivian, did we even talk about that? How's Rivian doing? I know we talked about this yesterday with the poor earnings here. I don't really see any path profitability here for Rivian.
Or for many EV companies, for that matter. I mean, I think we made a point about this.
Yeah.
If you're going to trade anything that's EV related, just stick to the one that's worked. Stick to Tesla. And even then, I don't think that company is looking, too appetizing at the moment. Let me take a look here at the chart. Maybe it is. Let's see. We're just kind of, going sideways, bouncing between 200 and 180. Seems like that's where we're kind of
I'm
going
sorry,
right now.
which ticker? 13? I missed it.
Tesla.
Guess I could have guessed that from our discussion on EVs here.
Wow, iNod. Just ripping.
iNod reports earnings today. I wonder if people are expecting a good number out of that.
That would be, I don't know if I want to get into that up here.
See, that's the thing. I was just thinking the same thing. As you said that, I was literally having the same thought. I'm not sure that I really want to buy this ahead of earnings, right? It actually just took gains. It just took this risk off the table. Gains are booked. Maybe I'll wait for the earnings print to get past, and then we'll make an assessment here. I know, obviously, the short report there might have been some shenanigans there that had to do with the options expiration. Let's see what kind of number they put up and go from there. Kind of a sleepy CEO here.
But I mean, if it's over 10 after the report, then I just won't even touch it anyway.
Yeah. Wait for one of those days where it's weak. Take a look at it. Nice rip there in iNod though. iPower still doing good too. All right. What's interesting? Amazon here. This was stronger earlier. This Amazon up or off the highs here. See if this actually rolls over. Market really kind of stopped after that 505 print. It's holding in. It's not selling off, but doesn't look like it's strong enough to break those highs just yet.
IWM just kind of sitting there.
So not rolling over yet. Looked like did look earlier like it was going to roll over. Not rolling over just yet here.
Yeah, yesterday we were down in 196.50s. I mean, we might not even get down that low today unless there's some other catalyst that comes out in the news.
All right, what do you folks? Anyone seeing anything interesting out there? Sorry, I'm so light on the trading here today. Just not seeing a whole lot that I like, frankly.
You and me both. This is what we were talking about. It's just not. There's no appetite here. We talked about how, well, if Nvidia trades up off their earnings, it's like, okay, well then when does this really end? When are we going to start taking profits in this? When are we going to get the pullback that we really need in the broader market?
Moderna up on earnings here. Maybe that's why NVAX is up. Let's see here. Advanced purchase agreement for their COVID vaccine. Got a PR this morning on that. Okay. So the NVAX has its own news here today. That's what we were trying to figure out. All right, let's take a look. IFBD, that was one of the ones we were talking about earlier. Ooh, that's going for the highs here. Right through 3. High there at 320.
Looks like LRHC is trying to recover.
That bottom out here.
It may have. I don't know. I'm not going to act confidently with any of these just because as soon as they try to recover, they just get smacked right back down.
Yeah, not confirmed yet here on the smoke tuna bottoming chart, which I guess is just what I'm going to call it here. MACD histogram is compressing, but has not gone positive yet. And while those signal lines have slowed down, they have not curled back up yet.
Yeah, CPOP dropping.
Roma being mentioned. Roma's continuing to go here. CPOP failing at its VWAP.
MNPR trying to get back up to VWAP. I don't know why I'm even looking at MNPR. This is under $1 now. That's not the way I trade.
Yeah, I agree with you, Kevin. It's really just kind of a few stocks moving everything up here. Vink, this was one Lynn and Randy absolutely smoked yesterday. Vink, this making another move here today. Where were our highs from yesterday?
Looks like they're about
we're above them.
Yeah.
We're above them. We had another high here from the day prior, right? So this would have been Tuesday. We're right there. Let's see if this breaks here on Vink. Possible break here on that daily chart. It's going to be right in here, by the way. Let me zoom in on that.
So
right in here.
A couple of days ago, when this moved, it got up to 368, and we're about 4 cents away.
Yep.
So we're looking at a bit of a. I mean, if you want to get into a longer time frame, like 15 or 30 minutes, you can see this.
Here it is.
This formation that we got here. Yeah. So we're probably going to try to take out that 368 level, and then I don't know what other levels I have above this, but sure there's going to be some hit afterwards. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, your guess is as good as mine. This thing actually is going to be looking at levels from a period where there was just constant downside. Maybe 630 could be a level. 390 could be another one. 390 seems pretty good. So after we break the highs from a couple of days ago, maybe 390 is the next target.
Sorry for the digression here, but today is the anniversary of Smokey the Bear. Only you can prevent forest fires. You talk about a Freudian slip there. Holy smokes, 13. That is not what I meant to say. Only you can prevent forest fires. Wild.
Oh man, yeah, I can present quite a fire. I remember going up into the mountains in California, and there's always signage about the fire hazards, and then you'll see Smokey up there sometimes.
Smokey the Bear, man.
Mm-hmm.
They made Smokey the Bear dolls, didn't they? I feel like there's teddy bears for Smokey
There were
the Bear.
cartoons.
Yeah, there were all types of stuff around that.
They merchandised the heck out of them.
Yeah, Jay, nice here on this LNTH. I know you were long prior to that print. Looks like this is taking the next leg up here. 65 on deck here maybe today. LNTH. Be interesting to see if we get some upgrades tomorrow. Looks like this thing stopped around $80 the last time it was really trying to trade up. It had a pretty big gap down on earnings. See if we reclaim that 80 here. This is a good one, Jay. This is a good one. Costco strong here this morning. Amazon holding in. Okay. Roma big knife. Oh, big knife is right through that VWAP too on Roma. Let's see if it reclaims. This might just be an overshoot here on Roma.
Looks like some things are starting to find a bottom.
Yeah, the broader market here, SPY, NASDAQ really kind of holding this range ever since we traded up into it. EZFL, this may be popping here. Let's see if we can close the gap here to VWAP on EZFL. See, this might have been bottom. Actually, we're getting the smoke tuna indication here. MACD histogram just going positive. These signal lines have flattened out. Maybe something here in EZFL needs to really get some volume to get rolling.
Gladys with the with the timely comment. Only you can prevent your account from going up in smoke.
Yeah.
I like it.
Jay, I think you're misunderstanding here. NVIDIA up 100, booking up almost 100, Meta up 16, and you guys say you don't like anything. You're in the wrong names. Yeah, we're looking for new trades here. I'm not buying NVIDIA up 100. I'm looking for setups here. And there's definitely some continuation on some of these names, but in terms of looking for new trades here, for the purpose of the content that we're doing, I don't see a whole lot. Definitely like some of the names that are moving up.
Yeah, I'm looking for trades.
I'm looking for new stuff. Yeah,
I'm not looking for investments. I already got that.
Yeah, I got those too.
I'm holding Microsoft for years and doing really well.
All right, EZFL. Let's see if it could take out 185 here. 224 the VWAP, so nice little 40-cent move up to that VWAP. Pan W, Monica's bringing up. Pan W's decent here. Let me back out of this a little bit. Maybe it has found that bottom 265 on Pan W. Lynn, are you trading Soxel? Are you in that? No, that we were looking at market short here. Soxel, this nice little move here too. This might be decent. This might be a decent trade here today with what's going on. I was looking for a short earlier. We'll see if this level holds. Maybe this weakens as we continue into the day here. Before 505 on the SPY. Fortinet, FTNT, getting a Fortinet mention in here. Did a good job bouncing off that 60 level, 62.50. Yeah, so you were just talking about your investments. I mean, my regular account that I'm swinging stuff in, this is actually so far, I know it's early, things can still change. So far, this is the best day of the week. A lot of that has to do with iPower, obviously, but doing good on the stuff I'm holding. Today has been a good day for that. Not so great for new trading entries. Actually, I wanted to check that volume on iPower because I noticed that yesterday it did 10x its average volume. Let me see where we're at least so far here at 10:15 in the morning.
Yeah. I'm just looking for things that have some volume and some movement so that I can get in and get out. I'm not looking to create swings or hold anything. I have a whole other account for that. I'm just trading. I just want to get in and out.
iPower here, by the way, session volume today, 70,000 shares on average. The stock does 19,000 shares. So we did have some news here regarding here. Let me actually flip over to the news tab here real quick. Power says phase 3 builds on completion and phase of all of phase 1 and phase 2 deliverables and therefore transition to Stellantis production team. All right, so that deal is Stellantis coming to fruition here. This phase is expected to include the intensive testing of the custom B-Tran module to meet automotive certification standards, enabling B-Tran to be the core of the powertrain inverter for the automaker's next generation EVs. Remember, EVs really just the cream of the crop. Hi, office assistant. What are you doing? Nice little move there, though, today.
So Vink is going.
Vink? Let me bring that up here.
Oh, yeah.
Jared,
Nice.
Nibbling NVDS here. That's you got some cojones there. This is one of the things I've been watching for. You know what, though? Maybe you're onto something. Maybe we did kind of bottom out here. Just have a plan in case this doesn't work. I tried trading this before when trying to take NVIDIA short, and it didn't go well. Keep in mind. Vink, here we go. Let's see. Vink moving higher here. EasyFL not ready. That was one I was taking a look at earlier with the Smoke Tuna chart. Smoke Tuna, I appreciate you taking a look at that. Looks like it isn't ready. It's really kind of just holding this area. We're not getting that curl back up that we're looking for. Yeah, this is actually one of the questions that I wanted to ask Triple D this morning, Jay. Rivian does look like this is going the way of Lucid here. You know, one of the things that Dennis said this morning is that Lucid not zero because of the Saudi backing, which I can completely understand. 13, I know we've talked about Rivian quite a bit in Happy Hour. We have several traders there that are short Rivian or have been shorting Rivian. I think Jay's right on here. I think this probably goes to single digits. You take a look at the daily chart here where we're at. We've really broken under all of these supports here on Rivian. I know people like the truck, just don't see it here. I don't think the stock's going to be a good performer.
Yeah, I was saying yesterday, if you kind of want to get an idea of where in Rivian and Lucid are headed, just look at FUV or SOLO. I think those are in that's the future. Just look at those. You'll see where those prices are. I think that's where those other companies are headed.
For context there, FUV 57 cents and Solo here, what, 26 cents. So we're talking about it going into single digits. You're talking about going them into penny land.
Yep.
Good old penny land.
Yep. Not convinced. And I said it before. I think that eventually EVs will be great. We're just not there yet.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and Jay Rice giving you the OG example, Mullen, and you have been saying that for months, man. Mullen, that thing. Oh man, I knew when that was all hot and there was all that internet talk. I knew that thing was dangerous. I even tried to trade it here one day, took a loss on it. It was immediately mad at myself. I regretted that so quickly. God, that's awful. ICU, is that moving? No, that really kind of bottomed out earlier. Yeah, maybe this is coming up off the bottom on ICU. I don't feel great about it, though. Talk got mentioned earlier by Jonathan. Let's see where Talk's at here. Talk's still doing a decent job of holding the VWAP and holding up here.
Yeah, that bottoming in ICU, I mean, that really did come down to that demand zone from the 16th to the 20th, like from the end of last week to the beginning of this week, and just reversed it. Good spot.
Yep. 13, I'm going to step away for just 1 second here. You got it, my man?
Sure.
Here, let me go ahead and put this up. BR.
MNPR going for the target. Let's take a look at MNPR. Monopar. Oh, okay, there we go. So that one's taken off and made a new high just now. What's your target for MNPR on this one, Crow? Webcoin. I don't have any levels for this one. Tesla seems to be in a tight range. Yeah, it was like between 200 and 180. It seems like it wants to just kind of bounce around and until it finds a direction. I feel like we're going to eventually go under 180 in Tesla with the way that these other EVs are going. Unless there's some kind of, new tax incentive that California or the feds want to give EV car buyers, which I don't really see happening soon. I don't think it's going up. So 134 and then 160 in MNPR. Okay. All right. That looks good. Looks like CPOP is dropping even more now. Vink has not broken out of the 375 high area yet.
All right. Sorry about that, my man.
No worries. We were just talking about MNPR and where that could go. We have several targets.
That is breaking here, breaking that intraday high. That lined up with the pre-market high. This one looking fairly decent. IFBD, how's that doing?
MNPR is really trying to get through that 116 level. There it goes.
AMD still really strong here today. Just keeps going. Mosaic appearing on the scanner here. Here's your MNPR.
Well,
Apple kind of turned around. Apple kind of turned around a little bit here. Apple really not behaving like some of these other tech names that we're seeing, really not participating in this rally. Dennis mentioned that this morning here.
Yeah, I have doubts about Apple just because that their newest product, that Provision, is not working out.
Yep, $3,500 goggles. I mean, I'm sitting here debating the idea of buying a $3,500 MacBook, which I actually need for a lot of things. I can't even imagine trying to do the math on a $3,500 virtual reality, augmented reality goggles. I'm with you there. I just think it's too early. I don't see the appeal. I might be the boomer of the group, though. I fully admit that.
I mean, I've got 2 Meta Quests here at the house, and we've enjoyed those. I don't play it very often.
That's the thing. Like the Quest, I really enjoyed the demo too, right? Like you did it. For context here, 13 actually shared a demo of how you can do things like signing documents, like for a real estate closing, for example, in a virtual world there. That was closer to COVID too, right? Where everyone was panicked about going into offices. Yeah. So that demo was really, really interesting, but it didn't really do anything to make me want to buy a Quest headset, but again, I might not be the target audience for that.
Yeah. The generations that are going to really adhere to that are not really
Skipping
There
the
you go.
goggles and going straight to the Neuralink. Forget these glasses. Just plant some shit in my brain.
Yeah. Drill a hole in my head and then put a little cap in there.
Man. Bro, have you ever looked into getting robotic legs so you can run really fast? Just out of curiosity.
The first thing I thought of when you said that was Grandma's Boy.
Oh, that's where I got it from. Are you kidding me? The procedure is risky, but it might be worth it. SOGP cruising from under 4. Actually, this is a really good mention here, Ken. This was up in the pre-market. We dipped out of that open to those pre-market lows, and we haven't looked back since. Congrats if you're in this one. This was a good one. This was a good one. Checking on Root again. So Root's so 13. Let me ask you, Root coiling up here. The last time we saw this happen on this 3-minute chart, we ended up popping out of here. You think we get another one?
No.
No. All right, there we go. Root coiling, worth watching here, but
that's my thought. I mean, I felt like that move to 14 was the move. Maybe it sets up later, and I could be wrong, but I don't think we're going to get more movement in this one for the moment.
Stuff here real quick. I got a funny story based on what Crow was just saying here. Okay. So Crow's comment here, I absolutely love this. So real quick digression here. 13, if you have a trader, you see a setup, please interrupt me.
Sure.
Crow's saying here, Ryan, tell me about it. It's 2024 and still no jetpacks. So I'm going to tell you a quick story about jetpacks. When I was a kid, thankfully, my friend and my parents got me into James Bond. I went to go see GoldenEye in the theater. I thought it was the coolest thing I ever saw. After I watched GoldenEye, I started watching a lot of the older James Bond films. And I think early on in that, I watched the Sean Connery James Bond film called Thunderball, where in the opening scene, he escapes via a jetpack. And I thought that was the coolest thing ever. And I remember asking my dad, Dad, have jetpacks ever really been invented? And he's like, no, not yet. That was a movie that was produced in the 60s. So I thought for sure in my lifetime, maybe even the prime of my life, I was going to see a jetpack and I was going to be able to cruise around my hometown in a jetpack. Well, here we are, 2024. I don't have a damn jetpack yet, and I'd like one. So, Crow, I'm with you on this. When can we get the jetpack? When can we fly around on our own?
They have plenty of those for sale, but you got to drop 6 figures on it. So
yeah, I mean, I also feel like I need training because I really don't want to die. I think when I was a kid, I was less afraid of heights than I am now. Still kind of want to cruise around in a jetpack, though.
You've seen the ones that you strap onto your back, and they also have these arm fixtures that you grab onto, and that controls your
Yeah, maybe okay. So I'm getting corrected here. All day gameplay, yeah. We do have jetpacks.
We do.
Okay, they do exist. Okay, they're just very expensive. Okay, well, You know what? I need to work a little bit harder than it seems because I need to be able to cruise around in one of these jetpacks.
Just get a loan from a bank that's about to collapse.
Oh, that's a wonderful idea. CLSK here breaking to the upside here on CLSK. This is actually a pretty nice move here. We're taking a look at Bitcoin here. Bitcoin up just under 1% on the futures chart here. 51,300 on Bitcoin. How are Mara and Riot doing? Someone mentioned these names earlier. I never went to them. Mara, pretty good recovery here. How about Riot? We seeing the same thing in that chart? I like it. Back up towards those pre-market highs. That dip got bought in these Bitcoin names.
Yeah, because we're coming off of under 51K. We're recovering a bit here, but we're still pretty down from where we were a day and 2 days ago. Where we up to 53K. Those were better days. Yeah.
But you know what? The fact that it's just kind of consolidating here as opposed to continuing to give up some of those gains, that makes me encouraged for another move higher here. Voodoo saying that I think the military tried producing them jetpacks, but ended up dropping the project. I actually believe that there was a Modern Marvels episode about this that I saw. So anyway, I'll tell you what, I'll make you a deal. If I find or somehow get access to a jetpack, even if I am scared out of my mind, I'll make sure somebody videos that and we'll break it down here, assuming I survive.
Root actually starting to come back, so I wasn't correct. But it's trying to stay above VWAP right now. It looked like it was getting rejected.
Yeah, the thing that had me looking at root here was this coil here. Now that we're moving through the VWAP here, maybe we do get another test of this of the upside. Here we go on root.
Mm-hmm.
I tell you what, 13. It's not continued, just popped a little bit there, so maybe we're not out of the woods, but you were on that. You were on that move there.
I just, it could start to look like it's going to go, and then it's like, maybe not. But it's moving. So 14 is the level to beat.
Bitcoin trading up here. Amazon trying to go higher. Tried to sell off, but it held its positive gains. Maybe Amazon does go higher. GXAI moving here. Thank you, Smoke Tuna. Let's take a look. This is a penny stock coming up off that 44-cent level. Lynn and Randy saw the same thing. Look at Lynn and Randy just on top of it here.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely on top of it. Love it. Frank, I like this. Look at the way people drive. You think they're going to allow a bunch of maniacs to fly around? So this is a funny comment given the jetpack discussion that we're having. But you know what? This is an actual concern for me for some of those things like Archer and Joby, that private aviation. I think that, to Frank's point here about allowing a bunch of maniacs, I suspect when that actually materializes, there's got to be training and certification that you're going to have to go through. They're just not going to let maniacs fly around. I got to think cooler heads are going to prevail here on that one.
Yeah, imagine having police start to get jetpacks and have to patrol the skies. How's that going to work?
I don't know.
Kind of flies up next to you. Pull over.
Land.
Yeah, land.
Land. Man, oh man. What? I can't hear you. I can't hear you. SOUN staying beneath the VWAP here. Sydney, I know you're trading the warrants in this name. A warrant chart looks very, very similar. I guess I'm just curious why the warrants over the actual equity. But here are those warrants. And by the way, shout out to Trade the Pool. Even has tradable warrants in their platform here. So you found one of those jetpacks for 400K, huh? Is that a base model? Dubai police already have jetpacks. Well, looks like I showed my boomerness again here. I was not up on the jetpack current situation, I suppose you could say. Smoke Tuna taking some of that AGRX here at a potential bottom. This not quite in penny land, but maybe trying to hang on to that $1 price level.
So one thing that you could look up if you're interested is Gravity Industries jet suit.
Okay, you know what I'll do here, 13? I'll actually pull that up in another tab. Gravity Industries.
Since the market's so slow right now.
I'm not gonna dig into this right now, but this I'll tell you what, just from the homepage, this looks like Halo come to life.
Well, you think that's cool? Just wait until you see Jetson 1. It's like a drone you fly.
Like you actually pilot the drone?
Yes, sir. You're in it.
Lunar here. Interesting here. Crow's mentioning Lunar. In my opinion, it's going to go here. Lotto trade here for today. Lunar did a good job of reclaiming the VWAP, actually backtesting the VWAP. Now it's trying to move up off of that. This actually doesn't look bad here. Let's see if it takes out that, what is this, a 925 area on Lunar.
Could be interesting.
See if that ends up going here.
Looks like the Vink is trying to. It's moving slow, but it's about to make a new high intraday.
Sure is. Looks like it's going to take those highs off.
And then, so there's the thing I was worried about with Root. Now we're a little bit down again. I mean, it could come back up, but it looks like it needed more volume to get up and through 14. So that's why I was, saying what I was saying about it. Looks like LRHC is recovering.
Take a look at that here. That still has just under $1, about another 80 cents there to the VWAP.
Jet back and forth to PTLO. That's not a bad idea. You know, that's actually funny because I'm trying to think of what they're called. You know how you can get these big fans on it, like kind of a backpack, and you strap it on your back, and you have a parachute, and you just, what are those called? I'm trying to think of the name.
Aren't those paragliders? Isn't that what that is?
I want to say that that's the name, but I thought they went under some other kind of description.
Yeah. Paraglider, paraglider. You're in like a little cart sometimes with
no. You're just it's just a backpack that's with a fan strapped to you, a little motorized fan, and you got a parachute, and you just already have the parachute out, and the fan's blown, and it just creates the lift when it gets you going. So
Florida powered paragliding has your paramotor package deal. Look at this guy. He's having the time of his life.
That's kind of like it, but they even have without the
I think you're talking about.
Here's
the backpack
there
you're talking about. No cart. I'll tell you what, if you wear a GoPro, you could probably get some pretty awesome shots here.
There was a YouTuber that would record himself in that going to McDonald's, getting food, and then going back home. All he needs is just a few, several, just a matter of yards to get the parachute open and going. But I thought that was pretty cool.
Crow says he's getting one this summer. Crow, we need a video. Or it didn't happen. That's what I'm going to say here. Video or it didn't happen.
I want to see the crow fly.
Now, see. Now that was pretty choice. That was pretty primo right there.
Looks like LRHC is trying to get up to VWAP. MNPR, is that going? It's not really. Might be
Nurse Week, you were looking at Micron here. Can you take a look at Micron earnings 320 long? I'm not sure what you're actually asking here. Again, that 320. Now that 320 date, that March 20th date for Micron, that is actually already confirmed. Okay, so estimated revenue for that print, 5.31 billion. Last quarter, they reported 4.63 billion. So it looks like those estimates have gone up. Estimated EPS for this print minus 0.28, so a 28-cent loss. The last print here was a 97-cent loss. And as far as the revenue figures here, you're looking. I already gave that to you. 5.31 billion. So we'll see here on Micron. You know, the one thing that I'm taking a look here on Micron is this daily chart. We continue to trade up into that earnings report. I guess let's take a look when we get a little bit closer here. I have no angle on the earnings report. If I was trading this one, I'd be out prior to that earnings.
I don't know when it's going to happen, but Micron is in a really good position to do well over the long term. I'll just leave it at that.
There you go.
They're a very good company.
Yeah, they are a very good company, indeed. You're welcome. You're welcome, and thanks for the participation here today. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, we just wish we could get some more participation out of the market.
Yep. Well, again, if you're in those high flying tech names, you're doing good.
Yeah.
LNTH, that was another one here that is printed several new highs here today. Looks like this is actually going again for some new highs. So Jay Rice special here this morning. Ticker LNTH. This was a good one. Looks like
LRHC is on the recovery. It's still trying to get back up to VWAP, but it's definitely getting some attention here.
Good morning, Wisdom. TQQQ killing it. Indeed.
Jetpack smoke. Oh, yeah, because, nothing beats the flavor of jet fuel.
Yikes. All right, let me check Twitter again here and see if Twitter has found anything on some of these. Obviously, a lot of talk about NVIDIA and all that.
C poppin is kind of coming up. The 65 EMA trying to make its way back to VWAP. Lunar is going.
Lunar did. That was a really awesome. Here is CPAP. We'll see if it reclaims that VWAP here. Lunar, this back test here on the VWAP. This was the signal here for the. I complained a lot about not seeing a lot of entries here. This was it. this double test here off this VWAP here on Lunar. That was it.
Yeah, Lunar looks like it's got more room to go. It could really start to go in the next 10, 15 minutes.
Happy anniversary for the Miracle game. Do you believe in miracles? The famous Al Michaels call. That was 1980 on this day in 1980. IFBD being mentioned here. It's Infobird again. Jonathan, great job. Great eyes right there. This reclaiming the VWAP here. 286 has some size. Intraday high here, 322 on Infobird. That's pretty strong. CLSK still holding up near the highs as well.
AGRX just not having a good day.
Bring that up here for you.
I think I'll just take this one off my list.
Yeah, this thing has no strength at all. Just gave up any gains it had here from the pre-market.
East kind of faring the same way.
I didn't really see any bunch of halts here today either. WETH, I know that was halted. BBLG, that thing is, I don't know what that is. Yeah, we didn't really have the halt fest that we've had prior days.
It's not really the kind of volume today.
Yeah,
for it.
Exactly.
I mean, you would have thought that, you know, Nvidia being up, it would translate into a lot more volatility, but no.
I think the volatility really would have come if Nvidia had traded down. I think the fact that it traded up, it's, you know,
that's a good point.
Same thing that we're kind of used to. MNPR next leg saying smoke tuna. Let's take a look here at MNPR.
Yeah.
It's trading up towards those highs. Let's see if we can get that here. Got that at what, 125? 125, your high print there on that candle.
A couple days ago, it went as high as 156. Which is interesting because if it gets up to 160, it could start to fill a gap from back in March of last year. I don't know if you see that, but
sorry, I was looking through some other things here.
No worries. Yeah, from 160 to what is this?
MNPR going here for those highs.
Yeah.
Great call, Tuna. You were right on this one. Just a great call.
What's going on with CDRO? Is that when we
CDRO? This got mentioned earlier by somebody.
Yeah, is that one's kind of just doing nothing at the moment, but it's just kind of holding up here. I'm wondering if there's another move it's about to do, or if this is just unnoticed now.
Jay Michael, sorry about the internet trouble there. Definitely don't put yourself in a position where you can really get hurt. I think that might be a smart, disciplined move to call it a day if you're not getting the internet connection that you're accustomed to. I've actually had that happen. I've bought one of these smaller, junkier names for a very quick day trade. Internet died on me right after I got filled. I don't think I've ever accessed my trading app faster on my phone to take a look at that. Now, thankfully, that didn't go against me, but it very easily could have. By the way, Tesla approaching its intraday lows here. Let's see if we break down or get another bounce on Tesla. INOD, Joe, I know we talked a little bit about this. They actually report earnings here today. INOD had a nice run earlier today. It's really kind of rolling over here back down to that 870 level.
I'm really surprised. I mean, not surprised, but I guess I'm also a little bit disappointed that I didn't pick up iPower when I thought about it yesterday, but I didn't want to chase.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I mean, this was up 45% in 2 days or something like that, 30-something% in 2 days. So I'm with you on that.
I wonder if Tesla finds support around 190.
AI, ticker AI, coming back in a little bit here. This actually might lose its intraday lows. Here's your Tesla chart, Joe. You're looking for some support at 190.
Yeah. The 20-day SMA is just beneath that at about 189.50. And we could, we could go down to that too, or maybe even lower, maybe down to 189 itself. But it's looking like quite an interesting support level. So I'm just kind of wondering out loud.
I got you here. I think we got to see what happens at 191 first, but I'm with you there on 190. That was a resistance area on the way up, wasn't it? I feel like we were just talking about that.
What I'm seeing here with iPower, which is encouraging if you're in this. It's not getting it's not what's the proper terminology, where it like has one trade every 20 minutes or so. It's not doing that anymore. We're getting a lot more consistent trading in this. Like it's a lot more eyes are coming into this. This thing could maybe start to get into the 20s at some point if this keeps up.
That would be great. That's what I'm hoping for.
I'm still waiting to see if Vink is going to try to break out here. This might be, I think this is going to be the third attempt at 375. So
Vink, let me pull that up here.
Yeah, if that doesn't break through, that might be some bad news. WETH is wealth. We touch. What is we touch about?
Yes, I'm saying I just saw that this ticker was halted. I was like, I don't even know what this stock is.
Oh, touchscreens. They supply touchscreen panels.
Crassy asking if there's news on ARM. Let me see. Let me bring that up here in Pro. We'll see if we can see if there's anything new here in ARM. I know ARM trading higher here with NVIDIA. I don't see anything new from the feed. Let me see if Charlie squawked anything.
Yeah, I think it's just a relationship with NVIDIA moving.
Yeah, I don't see anything in here.
Okay. And things look like they're starting to go, and then they just go, never mind. Except for MNPR. That thing's definitely moving. We have new highs, 130.
Let me flip over to that. Yeah, I didn't see any news here on ARM. MNPR?
Mm-hmm. New highs.
New highs. New highs. Great job on this one, Tuna. You were all over this. You were all over this.
It's a bluefin special.
Bluefin tuna. Let's go.
It's interesting. LRHC refuses to. No, it's trying to not go lower, but it seems like it's got some pretty decent volume right now, but not great. What are we looking at here?
MNPR. That's really all I'm seeing here. I'll roll through the scanner here real quick and see if I spot anything else. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely stuff moving here today, but just in terms of new setups for some of the stuff that we're trading, I didn't see a whole lot. But like I said, swing account rocking today. AMLX. Oh, this was a big move here today. AMLX trading after the company reported good earnings. Arcos that popped here. How's Royal Caribbean doing? Okay, Royal Caribbean. So Dennis actually made a really good point about Royal Caribbean here today. This, by the way, new highs here, new intraday highs. They reported strong earnings, but did it on a day where, as Dennis called it, AI day, right? They didn't really get a whole lot of coverage, didn't even get a mention on CNBC. Maybe they have by now. Mentioned late here, Royal Caribbean. I don't like the cruise ships. I mean, I've been on a cruise, thought it was cool. Ever since COVID, I'm skeptical of these, but really good report here. That's driving RCL higher, probably taking Carnival with it. That's ticker CCL. This is still higher, but this has actually come off its highs. And what's Norwegian? CHL? No, NHCL.
You know, I would think that cruise ships would be a pretty good application for AI. You know, not necessarily just steering the ships, but for like scheduling, you know, events, passenger management, just things like that. You would think that because of everything that goes on a cruise ship, that AI would have a natural place there.
Yeah, I think it all is going to come down to the bookings, though, right? It's all going to come down to how many people are spending money on that. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't. Well, the stock's telling you that people are still booking, so there's obviously people that are still trying to do this. I would imagine that there's definitely some pent up demand from COVID that probably took a while to get through, in terms of people that wanted to go on a cruise.
Yeah, I don't want to go on a cruise.
Neither do I. You know, I mean, maybe that'll change in the future, but right now, no, I can't imagine being locked down on a boat.
I'd rather go on an Alaskan fishing trip.
I've heard those Alaskan cruises are something else, though.
Not a cruise, an Alaskan fishing trip. I want to sleep on land every day, but I want to go out and pull fish out of the ocean every day.
Do you want to go ice fishing, or do you just want to do traditional fishing?
Oh, it'd probably be more deep sea, yeah.
Deep sea, yeah. Gotcha. Yeah, Gladys, I'm with you on that one. With you on that. VTYX from Crow here, set up on the 15-minute chart. Let's take a look at that here.
Gladys, that's a great comment. They are floating petri dishes. It's gross to think about, but that's what they are.
And by the way, here, as Crow's mentioning here, we do have that coil here on VTYX. This is actually lasting from yesterday on that 15-minute chart. So I expect to pop out of this at some point.
Vero sideways, baby.
Ticker VERO, right?
Yeah.
That's also coiling here.
This thing has done nothing since its pop and drop. It's just sideways. And this is how the market feels to me right now. Just,
Well, I'll tell you what, after that initial move here, and let's actually bring the SPY chart up. We can take a look at it together. After that initial move, so we drifted up in the pre-market, not a surprise given NVIDIA's earnings. We had this initial move right out of the open, but otherwise we have traded sideways. Right, that initial move was over here by, what time is this? I've got this at 9:48. So maybe 15, 20 minutes after the market opened, we've been sideways ever since.
Voodoo, your son-in-law's got it nailed. My father-in-law went and did the Alaskan fishing trip, and he brought back a whole haul of halibut, salmon. Trying to think of what else he got while he was out there, but it was great because you catch it, and then the deck crew
prepare it for you.
Yeah,
wow.
They cut it, they clean it, they flash freeze it, they do all that right there. And I'm just like, okay, well, we're going next time. I'm going to be there.
Take pictures. I definitely want to see pictures. Yeah. All right. Well, real quick here, in just about a minute, we're going to have Zunaid jump on the stream. I know we had a lot of fun with Zunaid yesterday. 007 Zunaid. That was just absolutely great. So Zunaid is going to be on here. We got a interview with Options Sandy. So we'll be talking strategies, options, and recent trades that they have taken. So definitely stick around for that. That's going to be starting at 11. We're going to go all the way to 11 here, but I expect 007 to join us here at some point. Keep an eye on that. Richard, we appreciate you, my man. I appreciate all of the kind words. A rising tide is going to lift all boats in here, and everyone has just been so great at participating and saying a lot of the nice things, bringing a lot of the ideas to the table here. We really appreciate it. You have yourself a great day, Richard.
Yeah, take care, Richard. Thank you. Looks like Bink got up to 4 at that pop it was looking for. Not going to be a triple top after all.
I'll see if that's done yet. That might have some more to do here today.
And MMPR also ran.
Man, I called tuna earlier on EZFL. This thing had no strength at all after it kind of sold back in. Here's MNPR, that continuing to go higher here. I've got 137 as the high print, a little bit of size above at 140. Amazon really kind of holding in. Apple kind of at that same level. The SMCI looks like this is curling back up here. What's NVIDIA doing? NVIDIA up near the highs. These charts, these interday charts look almost the same.
ATXG.
Hey, there he is. Zunaid.
I feel like I need an intro. Is this a good one?
Well, I'll tell you what, you should do what the Warlock did on pre-market prep, where I blew the intro. I was supposed to play a video asset, couldn't find it because I didn't know where to look. He jumped on and said, I'm going to do my own intro, and just did it by himself. That's what you should do, Zunaid.
Yeah.
I
need a cool one. I need a cool intro.
Well, you need a Bond when it has the gun barrel.
Yeah.
Sticking out for you.
Wait, did you show? That's crazy. I got to show the chat what you made.
Yeah, that was funny.
Hey, go ahead and do that. I didn't show the chat. I didn't show the chat.
I was just having
pretty
fun.
awesome.
I was just having fun.
Here, this is, and chat, I promise there's a reason I'm on. But
I promise there's a reason I'm on.
Bonus points, reason gold. Okay, cool.
I'll say this, Zunaid. I mean, like I was just telling a story about the jetpacks and James Bond. I grew up loving James Bond. The fact that you just showed up one day and just took on that moniker here. Let me look at this.
I like it. I like it. You know what I mean? It's cool. It's cool. I like it.
And then we got the odd job screenshot from GoldenEye. Anyone that played,
I made sure it was appropriate there for me to screen share. Yeah.
That's the best character. You just, kneel down and then run around and slap people.
Here we go. Crassy suggesting that you beatbox your own intro. I gotta see that. I gotta see Zunaid beatboxing like Rozelle up in here. That would be amazing.
Beatboxing to a whole different level, and here's how I'm going to do that.
Oh gosh!
Stop. Let me virtual background, no blare, excuse everything. You see that electric drum kit? I'm just going to go ahead and drum one up. Is what I'm going to end up doing.
Okay. I like it. I like that you had the drum kit literally ready behind the chair. That was fitting.
Yeah.
So Zunaid, what are you here for? What are we looking forward to here today?
We've got Option Sandy. You might have seen her on FinTwit. She'll be joining us here in a couple of minutes. We're going to set things up on her end in terms of screen share, but we're going to go ahead and talk through options, stocks, what strategy she likes to use, what her favorite indicators are, her journey a little bit. It kind of goes back to the same thing that we talked about last week, where we want to give y'all more trading content. And, we all have so many different things to do. So we want to bring individuals who have the personality, the knowledge in the trading world to go ahead and be a part of the YouTube family. So yeah, we'll do a fun little session. Her and I will kind of go back and forth, talk stocks, talk trading, and then see if we can make this a long-term thing. But so chat, let us know if you have any questions. She loves options. I mean, her handle is Option Sandy. So I feel like it's a given, right? If she bombards me and tells me she trades FX, I will be bamboozled. I know.
Okay, I'd be curious to know how she traded NVIDIA. If that was, that is
on my list. That is on my list.
I thought you were going to have that on your list.
Oh, for sure. Cool. Let me go take care of the matter. Yeah, let me go take care of the screen share situation. I'll be back in like a minute or two, and then you guys can hop.
We'll hold the fort down for
Appreciate
you.
Ya.
No problem. Let me go ahead and put up a chart back here. We can keep rolling through some names until Zunaid is ready. It's going to be fun. Like I said, we're trying to expand some of the content here. It's a team effort. So I really appreciate what Zunaid is doing here.
Yeah, well,
Zunaid looks like a sinister mob boss. I thought he looked sharp, frankly. Man, oh man. All right, let's take a look at some of the smaller names. We'll just do a recap here real quick before we jettison for the day here. Looks like MNPR maybe slowing up here at that 135 spot. We'll see. Lunar, I know this is on a lot of people's watch list here. Still doing a good job not coming back into that VWAP or breaking it to the downside. We'll see here on Lunar. Looks like Easy Mike got this on his radar. Nick saying that this was on Fox News here, Fox Business, I'm assuming. Lunar, interesting. We'll see if that ends up driving it here. Oh, where's Palo Alto?
Back.
Welcome back. You get all your stuff sorted?
We're going to do it live. Is what we're going to do. So I'm going to have Sandra come up whenever she's ready. You can give me the thumbs up, Sandra, just so I know you're good. Awesome. So we're going to go ahead and bring her up here in a minute, and then we will set up the screen share. I'll share my screens. I'll talk about how I lost money because I faded Aaron Bree, and thankfully, he was able to make money the third time. He's lost the first two times, but we'll talk some stuff. Any final words from YouTube before we bounce?
I'm still watching. Sorry, 13. I just jumped in front of you right there. I'm still watching the broader market because I want to see if we do reverse. We're doing a good job here trading right at this 504.5 level. We've really kind of been coiling, trading sideways here. I want to see if we break down or maybe we even take another leg up. We'll see.
Sounds like a plan. 13. What's up?
So yeah, somebody was asking about when the lunar landing happens. I think that's the Odysseus that they're referring to. That's today at 5:30 Eastern time. So that might be a play maybe for tomorrow or after hours, but that's the last thing I have here for when they're supposed to land on the moon. Other than that, as far as the market goes, I think personally it's a slow day, and I don't know what really to make of it. I think tomorrow's going to tell us a little bit more.
Sounds like a plan. All right, you two, appreciate it. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye. What's up, chat? Promise you more trading content. We're trying to go from 11 to 12, 12 to 11, and keep it moving. Hopefully be 24/7 in the next 2 years. But I'm going to go ahead and bring up Sandra. I think you're muted, so if you want to unmute, I'll go ahead and bring you up right now. How's it going?
It's going good. So you guys are 007, so I must be Charlie's Angels then.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I'll tell you what, we'll get a photo shoot going. We'll make sure we have a nice little intro for
Not
you.
with this morning hair.
You look fine. You look great. Love the t-shirt. Love the dining table. Mine does not look as clean and spiffy.
No, this is my favorite trading spot right here in the kitchen.
I love it. So here's the thing. I can share my screen, obviously, to get us the card. If you started, if you want, you can look on the bottom of your StreamYard and it'll say like present.
Yes.
And you just hit present, then you can hit share screen, and then you can pick from a Google tab, a window, whatever you want. Just make sure, share your account information or whatever the case is. But I will go ahead and share my charts here to start things off. And once you kind of get that going, let me know. But chat, NVIDIA has kind of been, the main thing of the focus. Yesterday, we had the earnings call. We had like 10,000 people reviews on it. Everyone on FinTwit, which is looking for the earnings call themselves. And then we finally kind of got out of this resistance area. And Sandy, let me know if you have any issues with that screen share. But you had resistance area right here at this 746, right? And then that resistance area, once we finally, even after hours during the earnings call, it popped up to that level and then it rejected, could not get past it. And then in the pre-market, we popped above, held a support, popped above, held a support. And then when the trading session started, we went ahead and held that same level, as you can see right over here. And then we've got new all-time high. Speaking of, I guess this isn't 007, but it's 777s like we're in Vegas. And I do see your Thinkorswim up. Just make sure your account number.
Sorry.
You're fine. No. I meant it's supposed to be where it is. I just want to make sure your account stuff is taken care of and I can share it with the world.
Totally. Yes.
I can. I'm good. You sure?
Yes.
Awesome. Before I do that, what do you think about NVIDIA? Did you play it? Like what's happening?
I didn't. I did not. I actually had some hedges just in case, but I did not play NVIDIA at all.
Okay. Let me go ahead and pull up your Thinkorswim now.
Let me get rid of it.
So yeah, you've got some, what is that? TMS. I'm not even sure what that wave is. I'm not familiar with this. Is why I love talking to different traders, because you learn different things.
Some custom indicators over at Trading Made Simple. And this was, basically created to help newer traders. And so these are just our own custom indicators that we use. One of them is the bullseye, and this is the wave. The wave is actually, the foundation of it is from the CCI. Yeah. And it was my favorite indicator, my favorite momentum indicator. It's kind of old school, but really like it for momentum-based trading.
Okay, cool. So it kind of tells you, I see you've got, hey, here's our stop loss. Here's where we're going to go ahead and grab. I seem like a call option, and then you have your profit targets 1, 2, and 3. So
exactly, and it's all based on the ATR. This right here is the bullseye, and so that just kind of helps you with identifying your stop loss and your take profits.
That's awesome. So are you, I guess one question is, are you in any trades at the moment?
Let's see. Earlier we were in coin and crowd, took some profits, looking at Tesla 195 call, as well as maybe Adobe 560 call. Can I just go ahead and bring those up?
Yeah. You, the world is yours. It's all you, however you want to share it.
This morning I thought we had the makings for a gamma squeeze, and I'm thinking, also, I really like to trade credit spreads. Does anybody out there like to sell premium, or is this mostly just
I'd like
stocks.
to say that I am the degenerate who just buys calls or puts, but I know our viewers are much more sophisticated than I am, so I'm sure they do a little bit of selling as well.
Oh, excellent. So yeah, definitely love SPX 0 DTE type of trading. Tesla looking at 195 calls. We got them at 165. Looking for a break above this 20 here that I use as my mean. That's like my favorite kind of trend indicator for me. And it looks like we're, in this trading range on this wedge trend line here, looking for it to break above that 20 and then come and revisit that pivot high here before we possibly break a little higher. We'll see if the momentum could get a little stronger here and break that 0. That's what we're anticipating. At least that's what I'm seeing. The internals still look bullish. And this morning when I was looking at SPX, let me just go back there because we did a 0 DTE credit spread. For those of you that like the 0 DTEs, sorry, my
No, you're fine.
chart is lagging just a little bit. One of the recipes, I don't know if your audience is familiar with gamma squeezes, but one of the recipes that I kind of take a look at to see are we going to be in a gamma squeeze is that we have this gap up. We never fill the gap. We don't even touch it.
Yeah.
We break above the pre-market high, and you could just look at SPY as a simple indicator. If we break above that pre-market high on SPY and we don't touch it, we're in a gamma squeeze situation. We had people buying puts yesterday, and this might just end up grinding really slow higher throughout the day. So it doesn't come on strong, but you'll just see it just go in small increments higher. What do you think about the gamma squeeze today?
So, that's what I wanted to talk about. There's so many different terminologies that we hear in terms of gamma squeeze about why a certain stock will just go parabolic. A lot of people talked about the SPY, kind of being in this huge gamma squeeze with the run that it's had. The same thing, the same conversation with SMCI as well. If you had to explain it to a 5-year-old in a few sentences, what would you say a gamma squeeze is? Just so we're all on the same page.
Sure. So it's this from and real quick, in just a minute, the sun's coming through the window. I'm gonna
You're fine.
I don't know how it looks to you because I can't see myself.
You're half and half. You're fine.
Okay. So what ends up happening is so it's a phenomenon where if there's a lot of puts on the books, and all of a sudden we get a gap up, all those puts, they panic in the morning and they close their positions. Closing those positions, the market makers keep readjusting their hedges. And as it's doing so, it's making all the other stops get stopped out. And as each of these stops gets stopped out, it's just this kind of not a self-fulfilling prophecy, but more of like this mechanism that happens in the market where all those stops are getting stopped out and market makers are hedging higher. People didn't get this rush of calls coming in. And then we just simply just keep grinding higher and higher and higher. And it's really just a mechanism of the market. It doesn't really necessarily mean it's a true manifestation of what's happening in the market. It really is a mechanism of what took place with all those previous orders.
That makes perfect sense to me. We can talk more about that. If you wanted to take care of your blinds, I'll go ahead and put your self down here. You just give me a thumbs up when you're back. I'll go ahead and share my screen here. In the meantime, it's like I just get a text or a Slack and I just go squirrel. But anyway, taking a look at it though, you've got this NVIDIA run where we talked about resistance that turned into support here, and you get a nice little move up to the upside here. I genuinely am not sure how I can play this. Now you clearly do have resistance at this 781. My apologies. We can hear my cell phone dinging. Looks like you're back. Give me a thumbs up when you're good. Awesome.
Oh, that's nice. You can do that.
So you said the trade that you're looking at is with Tesla. Is that correct?
I was looking at Tesla 195 call, got it at 165.
Okay. So so you're already in it or you're looking to get in it?
Actually our group was in it at this morning.
Okay. Got it. So here's what I'm kind of taking a look at in terms of the support, which is quite obvious to me here on Tesla for the past couple of days, is right here at this 191.36, right? So you had support right there in the after hours a couple of days ago or yesterday. And then you had, a couple of days ago, and then you had it again here, and then obviously today as well. So 4 times you've had support at this 191.36. What I typically like to do, and you tell me freely, please,
Sure.
what I'm doing right, what you would advise, is what I like to do is then kind of wait for this break. And I like to trade on the 15. So you wait for the break and then the retest, and then you go ahead and get in and you set your stop losses and things like that. And it's nothing magical. Everyone, I feel, just about does this.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that? How would you go ahead and play it if you felt, I want to go short Tesla? What needs to happen for you to feel confident when you go short?
Well, the break of that 191.36 that you have showing, a break of that and a retest is perfect for a short.
Yeah.
I mean, you're defining where your risk and reward is. But you can, the way I'm looking at it is it's holding. And that's why I'm looking at a long here. That level seems to be a pretty strong level. It keeps holding. And so really you could go either way here. You could take it long here and you got your risk and reward defined. You know exactly where your stop
Which would be
loss
like the low
is.
right here. If we break this, that would be your out if you were long.
Yeah, but I'm actually using a 5-minute chart when I intraday trade. So
Yeah.
this is for an intraday trade, not necessarily a swing trade.
Yeah.
So on a 5-minute chart, it's going to look just a tad bit different, but same concept here, looking to go retest that 195.32 level.
I'll tell you what, I just got a call and a text that my mother needs an Uber ride from where she is home. So I need to take care of this. I'm going to put your charts up and you can guide through this. I'll be back in like 5 minutes. Yeah.
That sounds good. Oh, I like that. Okay. So here on NVIDIA, you can see that we're in this consolidation area. This gray area right here that I have on Thinkorswim is basically a gap finder. And that gap finder just helps me to identify immediately in the morning where my gaps are, and then so that I can strategize about what I'm going to do next. So we're in consolidation. You can see that I actually use a 5-minute chart for my intraday trading. And let me see if we have any comments here. Yeah, I think when you have, a ticker that's right at either, support or resistance, it gives you that confidence to get into a trade. I love support and resistance trading. I also love to have momentum behind me. That to me is an A+ setup. I think that speak to managing, trades, leg out or take the whole play off prior to expiring. This is a great question. Would love to speak to managing a butterfly, broken wing butterfly trades, leg out or take the whole play off. I take the whole play off. So the thing about the broken wing butterfly, as well as, broken wing butterfly, you're really, really wanting to just earn that credit. Now, the butterfly, which is really could be neutral or directional, whether it be, a call butterfly or a put butterfly. I really like to, I used to really try to just do the lottos and try to have it expire inside the body of the butterfly, but it's really difficult to do that. And so if you're doing these for like weeklies or monthlies and you're really trying to earn an income off these butterflies, I would rather end up putting them cheaply on either a support level, a weekly support level, a weekly resistance level. As an example, it could be a daily support level or a daily resistance level where you have 2 butterflies on. It's almost like considered a Batman butterfly because it looks like a Batman mask on your chart. And then what you're really looking to do is to have price fluctuate and have a nice movement either down to support or up to resistance. And you can really capitalize 9-10 times your risk amount on those directional butterflies. So that's my favorite way, and I don't like to leg out of it. I think it just is a more confusing process, especially when I teach this to newer traders. I would rather just take it off. And the way that I do that, I basically automate. Sorry about that, guys. I typically automate my trades. Probably 85 to 90% of my trades are all automated. And what I do is I just set it to a stop price, whether it be 25% profit, 50% profit, or my stop loss. And if you can automate it correctly and practice that, it'll just get you out with or without profit, and you're just done for the day. Do we have a lot of people that automate their trades? Anybody into automation? Because that's my shtick. I really like to automate.
So so I'm gonna go kind of back and forth while I figure out this Uber situation. Do you like to go and do you put like when you say automate, right? There's two things that come to mind. One is where you can put your limit stop loss as like a bracket order, and
Yes.
another is where you have like an algo that, hey, it kind of does it for you. So which lens are you kind of looking at it?
I'm looking at it OCO orders, like you would say.
Okay, got it. Cool. So are you placing those the morning of like, hey, I've looked at the charts, I know exactly where I want to go, and then as EKS said, you just kind of set it and forget it, or what's your process when you
I
want to
love
go
that
to do
process. Just set it and forget it. I have a daily watch list. I set my levels in. On Sunday night, we have a weekly watch list. I set my levels in and just let it go. Even my SPX zero DTE credit spreads. You know, I know exactly where my risk is. I know exactly where my take profit is. And then I'm able to do live shows. I'm able to get on Zoom and teach people. And so I don't have to worry about what's happening in the background.
it? Okay, cool. And right when I order my mother the Uber, she says, "Don't worry about it, I got a ride." So
I have some great memories of my mom doing stuff like that.
Okay, all right. Sorry about that.
No,
And I hate. Sorry, George. George is never going to see this, but he was the one who was supposed to pick her up. My apologies, George. Anyway, when you go through, do you play small cap at all, by the way, or no?
no, typically mega caps.
Okay, got it. Is there anything that you're looking to play outside of Tesla? I know you're looking at the long side on that, and I'm waiting for the short side. If we go ahead and break that 191, is there anything else where you're swinging a trade into next week or anything like that at all?
Have some Apple calls that I was swinging. We also had, let me just get over to my list really quick.
Yeah, you're fine. While you're doing that, I'll throw up Apple on mine.
Thank you. Was looking at Apple, XOM was going long.
And I know we've got a couple more questions through from the chat, which I'll go through here in a minute. Let's see. Oh, snap. That's not what I meant to do. I meant to remove this.
Got to get
Yeah,
back.
see, even Apple, you've got, so, you know, even Apple for me, you've got support at this 180. This is a 4 hour. So I would typically just kind of set an alert here, which is like, hey, and the chat loves my dings when they come up. But it's like, hey, here's where I want to be notified if we do go ahead and break this area. And then I can go ahead and I'm not a, you know, someone who swings a lot of trades. I prefer to just get in and out. And that's because, you know, of trauma that I've dealt with in 2020, where I would stay up till 3:30, 4 a.m. and have dreams about the futures being up or down. And so I, you know, haven't been to afford a therapist since. But that's the reason that I just go ahead and have intraday trading. Are you a fan of just sticking it to intraday, or do you prefer swing trading in general?
I like it both. I like to intraday. I like to take a couple directionals in the morning.
Yeah.
I like to get into a credit spread for the day, a zero DTE SPX credit spread for the day to make some premium.
Yeah.
And then I like to swing. So I actually do it all.
I gotcha. So here's what I've kind of got on Apple in the sense of here's two trend lines that I'm kind of taking a look at. One, this is again on the 4 hour. I've got one right there, and you've got the second one down here, and of course a clear support right down here as well. What are you seeing in terms of Apple? And I'm happy to pull up your chart as well if you'd like. What are you seeing? I know you said you're looking to go long. How would you kind of execute that? Would it be through a spread, or what are you thinking?
Oh, gosh, I love spreads. I just went directional on this. Just looking to at least hit that resistance level. It's just a short-term March 8th call. Okay,
so March 8th. So we're going out. What is that? Do the quick math here. We're going out about 3 weeks, give or take. What strike was it? I'm sorry, I get like a bunch of stocks.
Let me look that up really quick. What did I get here? Let's see. This has been a swing already. Sorry, guys.
No, you're totally fine. So what I'm going to try to do is if we go ahead, and I'd love to get your take on this, two of these trend lines and see if which one you would like to respect more if you were to kind of wait for the break of either of them. Because what I kind of run into in chat, I don't know if you do, you let us know, is if there are too many trend lines, it's like, dang, which one do I really wait for the break of? You know, because they're both on the 4-hour. So it's kind of
Yes.
like, do I just play both and then just follow my risk reward like a robot and then calculate it and journal it? Like, what are your thoughts here?
Absolutely. I try to, just be a robot about it. So
Yeah.
we got a 322, a March 22nd, 190 call. Really looking, for a retest of that trend line that you have up is fine. We typically put our swings on, and we take our profit relatively, quickly. So looking for just some bullish action. And I think this was really just about kind of taking some plays outside of NVIDIA that could still
Yeah.
capitalize on the news.
Yeah, so 190 call is what you mentioned. So that's where I've kind of got it drawn out. That's where your
Mhm.
strike price is. And of course, chat, for those of you new to options, it would be the strike price plus the premium that was paid if it's a directional. And that's where you get your break even. And of course, March 8th. So you've still got about 3 weeks or so to make that play happen. SMCI, another talk of the town.
Mm.
I went ahead and charted this one, got a chance in my Thinkorswim to go short. And here's how I went ahead and played this one. You tell me if you would have done things otherwise. Kind of drew out and see, look, there they are. They're my lovely alerts. You've got SMCI. The reason that I went ahead, was it on the 4-hour? I think it was. Yeah, it was right over here where it's like, hey, you can see that you had resistance here on the 16th of February. So like last Friday. And then, so I just kind of waited. As soon as we got to this 895 area, we went ahead and grabbed some shares, went short cover here at this. I don't think I got it all the way down. I think I got it to about 85. So I got about $10 and then I go ahead and get out. Now you see it popping up. Let's talk live trading in the sense of, not saying you have to take this trade, but if you were interested in this type of stock and you see that this is happening, how would you see if this is worthy of your hard-earned money to take it to the long side? Or would you just say, you know what? Not my cup of tea.
No, actually, in this chart, I would wait for some 15 minutes candles to close. I don't like taking a trade when the candle is laying on top of it. So if we're using a 15-minute chart and that's your favorite, I would wait for the candle to close and then look to see that opening candle. If it actually opens above that level, I might be a little concerned that that's going to hold as support then, and then exit the trade.
So that's if you were short, though.
That's if you were short. And if you're long,
you're looking to go long, how would you? Yeah.
Right? Because we're breaking through a resistance right here. And if you get an opening candle, we're using a 15-minute chart. If we get an opening candle that clears that resistance level, that to me is confirmation that we could go higher.
Yeah, I would love it if this kind of similar thing, what you said, is if we get this 15-minute close, you can already see the volume. Well, we've already got about about 6 minutes left to go in this candle. And you can already see volume is, I would say, about 30% higher than the previous one. And we've already seen 3 green candles. So it's like, hey, momentum is shifting this way. I would really love, and I was annoyed about this one, but anyway, let me not lose my train of thought. I would go ahead and wait for this 15-minute close. And then I would go ahead and get it around this 905 area with my stop loss being right here.
Oh,
and
yeah,
so,
perfect.
If I know that, hey, I want to risk $200, I would go ahead and grab my shares with that same according size. I was really annoyed. Did you prefer Sandra or Sandy, by the way?
Oh, either or. It's
okay. I was really annoyed, Sandra, when we could not test the 1,000 again. I really wanted, even on the 15-minute, I was waiting for this 1,000 break and we got it. And what a beautiful break it was. But man, we never tested anywhere near 1,000. So I love my whole numbers. I love trading from them. Yeah. And we just never tested it. So the reason I'm talking about it now is because I'd love for this candle to close, retest it around the 905, and then maybe get in the next couple of days, we get back to the 990s and then go ahead and see if we make a lower high, which is that's what that would be. And then we can kind of come on down to the downside as well. What are your thoughts on, we got about 5 minutes left. What are your thoughts on like whole numbers, or are you a fan of them, or do you just feel like it's just a bunch of,
No, I think we're all looking at charts. We're all seeing the same things, and that's a self-fulfilling prophecy because we've all been trained the same way, with slight differences, but we're all looking at those whole numbers, and they're magnets. They're magnets to price. So when the market makers need to hedge their positions, when they're taking in all that money, they're looking at whole numbers as well.
Yeah, that I agree with you on that. And look at that. You've got a nice little movement on SMCI as we're talking about it. The question for me now is going to be, do we get a retest? Right. So that's the
Exactly.
biggest thing for me. So matter of fact, what I'm going to do is trade station connect. And thankfully the world can't see my login information, but you can see that I am logged in now. What I'm going to go ahead and do, chat, and we'll update y'all on how this goes, is let's see. And again, for those of you that are joining us new in the chat, this is real money that I'm going to go ahead and risk here. We'll go ahead and grab about 10 shares if we can at about 903.22. So that's where I'm looking to get in. I want, in a perfect world, for this 15-minute candle to close above the 899, 900 level, come back and test it.
Yes.
Go ahead and pick me up for the ride, and then see if we can march our way to 923.22s. My stop loss, as I mentioned, would be the low of this candle right here.
I love the game plan. A lot of people want to, get into that candle as it's breaking that level. And unfortunately, the best entry is really when it comes and does that retest.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see if it happens or if it just kind of keeps on marching all the way through, because it is already up 25%, right? You can see that right here. It's already up 25%. But something that I learned very early on is just because something is already up X amount, X percentage, doesn't mean that it cannot continue moving higher and higher. If you were to play this in the options world, how would you play it? Because I know directionally it gets quite expensive, especially with IV. Are there any call spreads that you would like to utilize here, or is it just, something different? And I know Frank is asking for your Twitter handle, which I'll go ahead and drop, but if you want to mention it, you're welcome.
Sure. It's options_Sandy on X or Twitter.
Yep. Here it is, chat. Got it.
Thank you.
Of course. But yeah, tell me how you play this in the options world.
In the options world, you could definitely do maybe a couple week out debit spread. I would take a call debit spread. You could do an at the money right there where you just identified that support level. Yeah. And then, if it goes against you and it starts breaking below that previous candle, then you could just exit and, wait for another setup.
Yeah, I've got to get back in the debit spread game for sure. I used to love it just because it minimized my risk so much.
And stress
I really got to get back. Yes. It's always to know that, hey, if shit hits the fan, I'm only losing $300,
That's right.
Only is a relative term, but at least I know where I am in terms of that. We've got about a couple of minutes with you. I definitely want to plug, obviously, where folks can find you. I know you trade with the group as well, but any other insight that you feel like our viewers should know about you, your trading, your, journey, anything, the floor is yours.
Oh gosh, I just really appreciate being here. I was a police officer for 30 years. I was also trading. No one in my life traded, even with all the men that I worked with. No one traded. So it's a pleasure to be part of a community and have other people that enjoy the same types of things. So my dad was a stockbroker. I learned how to trade back in the early 90s, late 80s. That's when we didn't have any cell phones. You had pagers and your broker would page you and you pulled over in your car. I'm aging myself here. But once I learned, about the market, I just love it. I'm always so interested in the market and I love automation. Working on actually, creating like an autopilot, Autobot that does the trading for you, right? Because, Thinkorswim is a great platform to do automations on, and I am an expert in Thinkorswim, and that's kind of how I got started, was just helping people learn how to automate their trades. And now, I think if I was to go back 20 years, I think if someone told me about automation then, that would have been the first thing that I learned, because talk about relief of stress, not having to second guess yourself, analysis paralysis and everything else that's stressful within the market. It takes all that pressure off and it really is more enjoyable.
Could not agree more. I think you got Voodoo, who's a returning viewer of ours, a loyal individual, talked about how he retired LEO. I don't know what that means, but I'm going to assume it's a fancy title. You guys may be speaking police here. I have no idea.
That's right.
Is that lieutenant?
No, just law enforcement.
Oh, got it. Okay.
That's wonderful.
That's awesome. Yeah, maybe don't say pull the pin. But awesome. This was great. I really appreciate you hanging out with us. The time just kind of flew away. We definitely would love to have you back as SMCI just keeps flying. And I think you folks can find you on your Twitter, which we've highlighted here, and they can also find you on, what was it?
Tradingmadesimple.org. Yeah,
Perfect.
tradingmadesimple.org if you want to learn about options trading or anything automation.
Awesome. This was fun. Thank you so much. We'll schedule another time for you to hop on, and we'll make some magic happen.
That sounds great. Thanks for having me on. Bye, guys.
Take care. And chat, we appreciate you for hanging out with us as well. This will pretty much do it for us. I'm going to go ahead and hop off and get on my emails and Slacks and everything else that I need to go ahead and do. But we promised you, we had new things coming up. So far we added the Futures Fever show. Hopefully we can get Sandra to go ahead and do a show with us as well, get some options action for you. I know we're talking to Anne Marie and getting something set up there as well. So I promise you great things to come. It'll be a lot of fun. We appreciate you for watching Live Trading. See you next time.